Alright, it's time! Another week. ZTGD Radio. This is episode 771 for November 6th, 2023. And on the show this week, we got the Wombat.
PSP.
We got Turds.
Sega.
Okay. We have Anthony.
Yeah, I'm here too.
Oh, come on, man. You should have threw some random console thing. Because he's like PSP. I was like, oh, shit, we doing, okay, let me think real quick.
Man, I got a rude awakening remembrance of an old jingle. If y'all grew up in the 80s, you remember the Eek.
You're talking from the cartoons?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, definitely remember.
yeah.
Yes,
That
Eek.
was a Canadian company, I want to say.
Somebody had that in a YouTube video the other day. I was like, oh fuck, I ain't heard that in a long time. But anyway, Anthony doesn't have a video game jingle because Terrence stole Sega, so.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, would it,
I don't even know what else that would be.
Fucking Game Boy sounds. But
Every Nintendo Switch Online service just has the Mario coin for every single, except for Game Boy.
man, I miss theme songs to browse the store to.
Oh, man, it was so good on the, was it the Wii?
The Wii.
The
shot.
Wii had the bar that have been memed to death. But even the early 3DS shop themes were like really stellar, and then they would get rid of them for each like season. And I just hope that stuff isn't lost to time. I hope some crazy person out there has saved all that stuff, because there were some really nice soundtracks to my shopping adventures. And there were bad shops, so you would have to listen to that song a lot as you like scrolled through pages of crap.
But the music was good, so you were like, "Oh, okay." Because it's like TV shows now. Like if you notice, like they don't do theme songs anymore. Like remember, like there was some dope ass theme songs that we've had back in the '80s and stuff, and now you just get like a title card and we're into the show. So like I guess that's just theme music is just dead. You don't do it no more.
There's no trigger for it. Like when you hear the Sopranos theme song, like it triggers something.
I'm gonna say a name of a show I don't like, but I think is like the last song I can. No, I don't. But it's the only song. It's the last show I could think of that had an actual like theme song, and that's Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah, from.
Wow, I think you're right.
What's the band?
Naked Ladies.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ryan will know this. Yeah.
It's not like a bad song. But to me, it's like it's whatever. It's a theme song. It's the last one I can think of that had a theme song at all.
Yeah, we had I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but we've been doing this goddamn thing so long.
Did you just
I
forget?
probably told all of them.
Who cares?
But we have
new listeners falling off all the time. So
that's true. We had a tradition in college with the roommates that I lived with that surrounded the Growing Pains theme song. And the tradition was that at any point in time, if anybody sang the first line of the Growing Pains theme song, everybody else had to take turns singing lines after that until the song was finished. So just randomly in the middle of the day, it could be a Tuesday afternoon at 2:00, and you would hear somebody in the house go, "Show me that smile again," and somebody else had to respond exactly like that, and it would go through until the song was finished.
That's awesome.
Theme songs were great, man.
Yeah,
right?
They're just not around no more.
Quantum Leap's theme song was so good. And like I've been rewatching Moonlighting. That's why I've been posting those different pictures on Twitter. Sybil Shepherd in that show. Oh my God. Oh goodness. Anyways, but the Moonlighting theme song is good. Like it's such a weird thing to get rid of. Like everything has to move so fast now. Like we ain't got time for theme songs. Just title card, go.
I'm gonna bring up another facet that doesn't exist anymore. Mascots.
Oh yeah, mascots.
Like outside of sports and a couple of cereal that still have mascots.
Mhm.
Like mascots don't exist.
Well,
That-
it's
yeah.
a different
I think-
generation. Like people don't they think people don't want that stuff anymore. But what was the one Netflix show you didn't skip the intro of? What was it?
Stranger Things.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
why?
You know what's funny? Because the theme song was good, but
Exactly.
also because what's funny is so my my car is a hybrid, and so when I
Of course
start it
is.
up and start
Yeah,
to
I was gonna
back
say
out,
it runs off.
shut
of,
up.
It runs off of standard gasoline and jet fuel.
Yeah, right.
It's his own farts, so he can sniff them.
But anyway, when I'm just like when you just let off the brake and don't hit the gas and it's just moving forward on the battery, it sounds like the beginning of the Stranger Themes song. So every
Nice.
time it makes me think of that every single time.
See, they should bring that back. Like that shit would theme songs work, man. Like
That's because everybody's got the
Nostalgia
skip
for your
intro
week.
button
All right,
now.
see y'all next week.
that's what it is, right? That's it. That's our show. But yeah, that's what it is. Everybody skips intro, so they're like, "Well, fuck it. Nobody's watching it anyway. Nobody's listening to it, so whatever."
But I'm
Crazy.
fuck, even without the intros, like it just that whole aspect of like we are going to be visually and audibly known is just
Yeah.
fun. Like what's McDonald's jingle nowadays?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Do they still use that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Can
still
you-
use that.
Yeah.
It's
All
fucking,
that-
what's his name? Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy that does the voiceover for it now. He says it at the end of the commercial.
Oh yeah. I can't remember his name. The guy from Succession.
Yeah.
Just
Brian
To me-
Cox.
Yeah.
Brian Cox. That.
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
and we don't have
I'm
Ronald.
pretty sure Jared from Subway killed all that.
That's
Probably.
fair.
Yeah, we don't have Ronald. My kid. Matter of fact, my daughter asked. We were at McDonald's and she was
Who's
like,
that
"Hey,
scary fucking
Daddy."
clown?
That's basically. She was like, "Who is that clown that they have on this thing?" And I was like, "Wait, you don't know about Ronald?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Damn." Oh yeah, Matt.
Who's that clown that's beckoning me to sit next to him on the bench?
Oh,
Right?
The Stranger Danger.
Dude,
That's what that is.
let's
Creepy
talk
ass
about
shit.
the McDonald's birthday party.
Dude, I had one
Oh
when
my
I was a
God.
kid.
Bro, it's not a thing that exists anymore.
Nope. No.
No, it is not.
That's crazy.
They took Ronald out back and with his birthday parties and put a
Grimace
bullet in
took him out back and beat the shit out of him with a baseball bat. That's what happened.
That's what it was. Hamburglar was in the escape. In the escape
Hamburglar
car, like,
sitting in
"Come
the-
on, hurry up."
Hamburglar sitting in the corner of a dark room smoking a cigarette, just watching.
I can't talk about McDonald's without thinking about one of the greatest tweets of all time, which says something to the extent of, "I asked at McDonald's about their secret menu, and Grimace took me out back and showed me his weird dick."
And that's how the Grimace Shake was born.
There it is. There it is.
Alright, video games, those are a thing.
Yeah, this was a good cold opening. I like that.
There's
This is good, guys.
a lot of video games to talk about this week, so we're just gonna get into this bitch. Anthony, what you got?
Well, hold on. Before that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I just say that it's ironic that we just spent all this time talking about how important a theme song is, and we jettisoned our theme song like 3-4 months ago and haven't added a new
I don't have a choice.
actual theme song.
It has other words in it, and I can't use it anymore, so...
Yeah, that was not by choice.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
kept that. That thing had been running for, what, like 10 years or some shit? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I love
That
that.
is,
I love that
is
song.
more equivalent
Play it
to
I do too.
McDonald's losing the rights to Ronald.
Yeah.
And Burger King has put him up outside.
The king standing
Oh.
in the corner waiting for his turn.
The King Clown.
Sneaking.
Yeah, Sneak King. That's who I was referring to. The Burger King. The Burger King. That's a TV show now. It's like the Sopranos, but with like fast food fucking mascots. That's what we need.
Well, if you haven't seen the Roy Jones, or not Roy Jones, I got boxing on my mind, the Roy Wood chicken sandwich wars videos, you should watch those. Those are hilarious.
Jesus, when did that become a
I'm
thing?
gonna have
Just
to look at
because fucking, what was it, Popeyes made a chicken sandwich, and then Chick-fil-A had to make a
Yeah.
chicken sandwich. I was like, Jesus Christ.
But now everybody makes a chicken sandwich because that's another thing. We was at McDonald's and I was like, damn, McDonald's doing the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches now with the pickles. Like that's it. That's all it is. It's just fried chicken breast. You put some pickles on it, and they give it to you. Like the fuck? Why are we all doing this?
Oh, man,
Crazy.
everything has to be a fad.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking people. All right, Anthony, video games. What you got?
What the fuck did we just do? Okay.
We had a good time. That's what happened.
Did we?
I did.
I don't know.
I did.
Okay.
And now I'm hungry though. But
I know.
yeah,
I
it's fine.
feel like I want some nacho fries or some shit. I don't know, some McDonald's.
Right?
I played video games since the last time I've been on, which is 2 weeks ago, something like that. I tried Ring Fit Adventure. That was a mistake. That showed me how out of shape I am. I didn't like it. I have played. I'm trying to think of other stuff that I've played before the big sort of two that I've kind of spent all my time in. I mean, I finished Mario Wonder. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a real short game. It's good. Don't get me wrong. That's not a question. But if you were to ask me, like, what should I spend my, in Canada, $80 on before tax?
Jesus.
I'm going to tell you it's Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Over Mario Wonder. I think it's a more challenging game. Like Mario Wonder is difficult, and I still stand by that. Like it's more difficult than like the early stages of Wonder are more difficult than say like Mario World beginning stages, but they never quite reach like the peak that Mario World does, especially come like those star levels, wherever they are called in
Star Road?
Super Mario World. Yeah, Star Road. Yeah. Like nothing in Wonder gets even remotely close to that difficulty. Especially with the badges and everything. It's a good game though. It's just like in a year that has been dominated by some big hits. And some of those being from Nintendo themselves, I can't see that making even my top 3, because it's been pushed out by a game I've been playing the last little while. What it won't be pushed out by, which is another Nintendo game though, because I've played the new WarioWare. It's WarioWare. It's WarioWare that's like the Smooth Moves game on the Wii, except that like. You start to realize that like a lot of the Wii was based off of the pointer mechanics and not really as much of the motion controls. And when it was based off the motion controls, it felt built better. Like this game is all motion control based. It asks you to take the Joy-Cons off the Switch and you hold them in both hands and then you perform actions. And it never feels as good as the Wii did. And that's a
line to record. It never felt as good as the Wii did.
I was muted. I just said I was like, clip it. Yep.
I mean, like, sure, but jokes aside, I mean that's kind of a shame.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With the tech that is in that Switch. Like, I noticed a bit when I was playing Ring Fit that, like, it would sometimes lose its calibration, I guess. Like, it would stop sort of understanding where the controllers are in space because there's no anchor point. Like, when you have the Wii remote and you point it at the screen, it sees those 2 points and figures out where it is. Because that doesn't exist in the motion controls on the Switch, like I did a boss level where I guess I'm taking I'm sort of like a Icarus character. He's got wings and I have to flap my arms to control it. And steering it was a nightmare. Now, maybe I was wrong with some of the motion I was doing. I don't know. because it felt like it wasn't detecting my emotions at all. Now, most of the games work fine. Some of them are quite funny. But if you're going to ask me back to kind of wonder, like, which game should I buy? I'm going to tell you to get the last WarioWare game that came out on Switch, not this one, unless you really want to do motion control stuff, because it's just not as good, in my opinion. It's not a bad game. It's like, but I was saying to Terrence before the show that if I were to rank them, this probably goes at the bottom of all the WarioWare games, except for like the DSi and the DIY game, both DS titles. Like both of those were kind of like really built around an idea that just wasn't great to begin with. This isn't a bad idea by any means, but I just don't think, unless you're like a big WarioWare fan, this is where you should spend your money. Which is kind of a shame. Like, it's not a bad game. It's just like Nintendo is fighting against themselves for sales, right? So I have two options from the same franchise. The last one was better. That it's a very weird space to be in, because generally they don't have two WarioWare games on the same console. So this maybe should have waited until the next console came out. Like, they already had not next week, but the week after, on the 17th, they're releasing Super Mario RPG. Like, guys, you're good. Like, you had a game like every 2 weeks. You've had a big fucking release. So I don't know. This is a very weird WarioWare game, where also the new Wario voice isn't my favorite. Not to bring up that fight, but like, I don't know. There's just he for the most part, whoever it is pretty good. Maybe I don't think it's Martinet though, because it doesn't sound like it was the same voice from Gold, which was Martinet for sure. So I don't know who's voicing Wario, but it doesn't sound right. It might be just the direction. Sometimes he's okay, and then he'll say something, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right at all. I'm not angry with my purchase. I still will enjoy it. It's still worth my money, but it's just, I'm a big WarioWare fan, and I don't know. This just doesn't move the needle forward for me at all. It's like, yeah, this is more of the Wii game. Cool. The game I am excited about, though, that I've been playing kind of like nonstop, is World of Horror, which is a indie game. I've played it on Switch and PC. The Switch version, oh boy, yeah, it shouldn't be as kind of bad of a port as it is, because World of Horror is a game that is played all through menus. It is a RPG, rogue light. And when I say RPG, I mean like tabletop RPG mixed with like a roguelite. You always do 5 cases. The cases are randomly chosen for you. But once you've solved the case one time, there's multiple endings for each case. There's a minimum of 2. Some have like 4 endings. That all changes based off of your success and failures when it comes to stat rolls. It's based on choices you make. It changes based on what cases you take on. So you can choose any of the 5 cases in whatever order, but depending on which order you do them in, changes how other cases may go. So, for example, there is a case that if you solved one of 2 ways, gives you a small key. And if you have that small key, it can be used in 2 spots within the school. But those 2 spots, one of those is randomly accessed. The other one you can only access in a specific case. And I have not had the small key with me to access this other room in the second case because I haven't had those cases come up in the same run. And I haven't done them in that order. Now that I know, you start to sort of learn aspects of like, if I do this, I get this ending. So you can start sort of as you kind of go through run after run, failure after failure, you find out kind of the right choices to make. And so you try to stack the events in your favor. It's really smart. It's got a Junji Ito inspired art style. It's all pixelated, like it's not played on an old computer. I love it. Do not play the Switch port. Oh my god. It is all 2D, this game. And it is sort of like a pseudo PC setup. Like your cursor is like this pixelated cursor. It's like, even when you play it and it's not full screen on your PC, like it sets up to default to have like a fake computer monitor, so it plays in 4:3 around the outside of the game space, and it just doesn't work on Switch. So I was like, okay, it'll be just like I move the analog stick and it just flicks through the options of what I can. No. The analog sticks, both of them, control a mouse cursor, which is fine. But if you try to use the option to like flick through to like the different buttons on screen quickly, it is so slow. Like the cursor doesn't move as fast as my mouse cursor does on my PC either. Like there's no way to speed it up. It's just not the best way to play that game. It is not like abysmal, but there's no reason why it should run as poorly as it does. Because I don't have like a great PC, but like this is a nothing game on the Surface. Like The Witcher 3 is on Switch and probably runs better than World of Horror. But it's been what's taking my time, because I've just been keep trying to like get. So like the other thing is like there's achievements within the game, and every achievement that you unlock unlocks a new aspect that can be randomly rolled into your game. And like one of them is having both baseball bats at the same time. Now that seems really stupid and basic, but there's only 2 places you can get a baseball bat. So that requires you to run into both those events in the same playthrough. And I like that type of stuff. I like having to kind of puzzle solve and see what I can achieve to like make even a loss into a sort of victory. I've been addicted, and I've been trying to get people to play this game, but I have yet to succeed. And that's it for me. That's where most of my time has been spent.
Cool. Let's move on to Terrence.
Okay, that's fine. We can move on. I will start with RoboCop. I talked about it this week. Okay, so I reviewed RoboCop Rogue City. I loved it, but I am a huge fan of RoboCop movies. Really, just the original one and the second one, because the third one is
no one likes the third one.
No
one likes
like
the television show. No one likes the reboot.
No. I vaguely recall seeing a RoboCop cartoon when I was a kid, that I think was okay, but I don't like. I need to actually Google it, but I have visions.
I bet it was
RoboCop
made by
cartoon.
Geek.
It probably was back then. But
no, I've never. Oh no. Okay, yeah, I've never heard of this, but yeah, it's by AKOM, AKOM.
Oh, it did exist. Okay.
Yeah, I remember it too. I at least I have a memory of it, whether or not it's a real memory or some kind of weird implanted shit. I don't know.
I am.
That's
right.
a weird, different time where like R-rated movies were made into toys and Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Rambo had a
Yep.
cartoon. I do remember that.
I remember that one. I've never like I remember that one like just because like I think the shock value kind of kept that being talked about. I didn't remember there. I knew there was a RoboCop TV series, but I don't know. I thought it was live action. I guess there was a second one too, Alpha Commando in 1998. Apparently, Disney owns the series.
Of course they do.
Now, except that Amazon's MGM owns the RoboCop rights, so you'll never see it again. Saban, the guy who started Power Rangers, did the music for it.
Nice.
What is this world? Why is there only like 4 main characters? Good lord.
But okay, so Rogue City is if you're a RoboCop fan, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a first-person shooter. It literally just puts you in the shoes of the man, and I feel like these developers, like they too are huge fans. Like they love this character, and you could tell just in how much detail and stuff is in the world. Like Robo's character model itself is fantastic looking.
Does he
Like,
walk
it's-
slow?
Yep.
Yes.
He
Oh,
can't.
And
He
every
can't
step,
jump.
nope,
I
he
love
can't
it.
jump. Every step he makes is like in the movie. Oh, it's so good. Like you can run. Like it has like a run thing, but it's like a jaw. It's not really a full on run. You can move a little faster. I don't even use it because it's so awesome just stomping around as RoboCop, like moving like he does. Like it's so much fun.
Is
I'm over here
this-
geeking out.
Is this open world like the Terminator game was?
Open world light.
Well,
yes,
the
yes.
Terminator game was open world light as
That's
well.
that's what this is. You basically go from like section A to section B, and then there's a little open world you can explore and do stuff in.
Nice.
And there's different like side missions, like you said. There's different stuff in the different like areas, because you'll start out like in old Detroit, and you'll go and you'll have like a little area around there, and you'll have citizens that you can talk to. But even beyond that, because you're a cop, you can give tickets. So you go across a car that's parked in front of a fire hydrant. You totally write them a ticket, set it on the windshield for them, and it's like, this ticket well, I can't remember how he words it, but it's a very RoboCop thing. Like, this ticket will help him, remember that he shouldn't do this kind of thing. Like, if Peter Weller is doing the voice, like, there's so much fan service in this. Oh my God. Like, it's so good. It's so good. And the story is actually pretty competent too. So like, without going too far into it, there's a new guy, is what they refer to him as until you find out who it is, that's moving in on the crime world in Detroit. And once you're introduced to him, they actually have ties to Clarence Boddickers. If you recall the first movie, it was the bad guy.
He's the dad.
leader.
The dad from That 70s Show. Yes.
Yes. He the new guy has ties to his gang. Which was, I had to Google it. Like, I think maybe super
Just
hardcore
leave.
fans. What?
Bitches leave.
Bitches leave.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's funny too, because I watched they did a documentary for RoboCop. I think it was 4 hours long, but I watched it over the course of days. But it was really good, and they talked about all the different lines and stuff in that movie, and a lot of that stuff. Like, I guess Paul Verhoeven let them kind of have carte blanche. Like, they were allowed to just kind of come up with stuff that worked in that movie. That was a different time, than now. So like, bitches leave, and some of those other like lines that are now iconic, like, that weren't in the scripts. They just kind of ad-libbed that. I'd buy that for $1. It was in the script, but they didn't think that it was going to be. They didn't think that would ever be like the line, that people would reference that movie to. Whatever. But anyways, the game is great. It's a first-person shooter. It's not AAA quality. It's about the same quality as that Terminator game, which is funny because I'm also playing that too. So it's not ugly by any means, but you can tell, like, some of the graphics or some of the textures are a little muddy and maybe could be a little better. But it doesn't detract from the gameplay. RoboCop has his Auto 9, of course. You can pick up other weapons as you kill thugs, but why would you ever? Like, the only one I ever use is like the giant like chain gun, like machine gun thing, because like, I don't want to use some perp's little pistol when I have this fucking hand cannon where and I take a head off. Like, what I want that for? But it's there if you want to. He can use melee, like you can grab thugs and throw them, and there's like a punch attack. It's a weird animation when you grab, because it's not. It's funny because I noticed this in Terminator too. When you grab things, it's not really like you're like picking it up. It just the thing kind of teleports into your hand when you press the button. It looks weird in practice, but it's it's one of those things where, whatever. Okay, I got the dude by the throat, and I'm gonna fling him. Oh, you earn XP for those different side missions and stuff, and even the main mission, and finding like nuke vials, like the drug from RoboCop 2, and different like paraphernalia, like stolen persons and stuff, all equates to XP. Which at the end of each mission, you get like an evaluation, and you'll get skill points, which you can like level RoboCop up. So he'll eventually get a dash where you hit A and you can kind of dash out of the way. Um, and there's different things like there you can augment like his detective skills, and different stuff like that. Like there's a whole skill tree, so there's stuff to shoot for while you're playing the game. But yeah, to me, it just felt like that this team did for RoboCop what I feel like Rocksteady did for Batman, because it they could have just made this just a total first person shooter where you just blasting thugs left and right. But the fact that it actually goes into really RoboCop's character, as far as
Motherfucker, you
serving the
have
public trust.
you have psych
And
evaluations.
yeah, I was just about to say that. Like, yeah, his like you psych evaluation, and then there's different like he has those flashbacks about his family, which was a big thing in the movie too, because it's not just a machine. Like this was a guy that died that they put in this machine. Like that kind of duality and stuff they play with in this game. Like it's really good. Like if you like the RoboCop movies, you will love this game. Like it's really good.
This
So-
is one of the
Go ahead, man.
games that I bitched. Like it was almost like it was a 2-for-1. The fucking checkpoint system in this game fucking sucks.
That actually, yeah, that's true. I figured
Oh
that.
my god, you can play for like 45 minutes without a goddamn checkpoint, and there is no fucking manual saves.
Nope, there is none. You have to use the checkpoints. That is a problem. I just did and I know you don't do this, but I did the like the system, like the game resume thing, because I
Aw
use that
man,
for
what happens
for
if
Alan
you
Wake
lose
2.
that shit? Fuck that.
Yeah, I know. I know, but that's what I was doing for that, because yeah, the checkpoint system does suck.
I shouldn't have to rely on hardware to solve a game's problems, number one. Number two, I don't trust Quick Resume as stable as it's been on Xbox Series X. Nah.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. I feel it. I feel it.
So, because, let's be honest, we all like some jank in our games at times. And
Sure.
this sounds like it's a perfectly jank rather than having too much, because it's, a AA
Yes.
sort of game or B tier game or whatever you want to call it. What's the next franchise that you want them to do? So you said they've kind of nailed it with Terminator and RoboCop.
Just fucking do Rambo and do it justice.
I was thinking, didn't they already do Rambo?
It was a different team. It was a different company that
Okay.
did that, and it sucked.
I thought it was the same team that did that.
No, I think it's Teon that did both of these, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure they're the ones that did the Rambo rail shooter.
Oh man, if they did, I'm sorry.
I was thinking about what I wanted them to do, and God dang, I should have wrote it down, because I
I
cannot.
want
I hate
them-
getting old. I can't
They
remember what
did.
I
They
can't.
did do
Judge,
the fucking
yep, they did do it.
Rambo.
See,
Oh.
I knew it.
Well, redo it now, but better, because that Rambo game sucked.
Yes, it did.
The rest of their
want them-
games kind of trash.
Yeah,
aren't
they found their niche that they finally, of things that they can do, and do pretty well. I would love for them to do a Judge Dredd. Since
Hell
they're
yeah.
basically already there.
I am the law.
Man,
with
yeah.
less Stallone, but
Much less Stallone. Like, Jesus. We can get Carl Urban, though. God, Dredd is such a good movie. I wish they would get a sequel of that
I am
together.
the
Like, he's
law.
game, too.
I am the law.
I am the law.
That's
I yell that every so
Sylvester
often.
Stallone. I am the law. What'd you say? I can't understand it. I am the law.
Oh man. Oh, Sly. Okay, so yeah, RoboCop. Terminator, like I said, I'm playing that as well for review. That's also really good. Living the the Terminator fantasy. That's different because that's a lie. There is a mode where you do play as the Terminator in the Infiltrator mode, but there is no save for it. So it's like once you're in it, you have run one playthrough, but it's like you got separated and you have to track down this resistance, sect in this, in the future. Um, and you have to go around scanning different stuff and find out where they're hiding, and then you end up fighting them. Like you kind of level up your gun and stuff on the way. It's not bad. I mean, it's maybe 45 minutes to an hour or playthrough, depending on how in depthly and how far you go through to like level stuff up. Um, but meh. Um, the main game is cool. It takes place in the future where and I think we've talked about this game before, but where the Terminators are, um, where their Skynet has taken over and everything. So you play as the Resistance, and it plays a lot like that Homefront game.
Yeah.
So where you like gathering up stuff to like trade and different stuff like that, and crafting weapons and different things. It's super good. Like, yeah, I feel like you said, I think Teon has found their kind of niche, and they definitely should tackle some more of this stuff. Alan Wake was the other big one I played. Man, oh god, I guess it's like you with RoboCop. Like, I love Alan Wake, but Alan Wake pisses me off at the same time.
I'm the same way with Alan Wake. The fact that it doesn't have auto or like manual saves, like what the fuck are we even doing in 2023?
Well, it does. But
No,
you gotta go
save anywhere is what I mean.
Yeah, I know that's what you want. Yeah,
yeah, like I don't. This ain't fucking Resident Evil. I don't need to find a goddamn typewriter.
Right.
Like,
right.
just let me hit pause and save. Because what the fuck are we doing?
Yep. And that again, that's an issue for me there too. My issues stem from the fact that, and I don't know if you have this problem, I still have audio problems with it.
Oh, still, yeah, it's still broken. Like, I booted it up the other day and there was no sound. I had to turn it off and turn it back on.
Yeah, like I think we've had a couple of patches and they have still not nailed down this issue. So damn. And it's wild because there's a part, I don't know how far you've played, but there's a part where you get to decide if you want to do, Saga or Alan's story, and then you can kind of bounce back and forth however you at will. And I chose to focus on Alan's, and one of his early things is like this big to do number where sound is super important, and my sound cut out like halfway. Oh my god, that game just pisses me off. But that's the problems. But it's so good. Oh man, the amount of dread that they managed to instill without actually having you fight anything.
Yeah, I think I've shot 2 people in this game so far, and I'm like 2.5, 3 hours in.
Yeah, like I'm almost 10 hours in, and I have maybe only had combat a handful of times. I've only had one boss fight. That probably it happens towards the beginning.
Is that the one in the forest when you first go into the unknown or whatever they call it?
Yep. Yeah. That's
okay.
The
yeah.
only one.
Yeah. I've done that one, and I shot 2 dudes in the lake, and that was it.
Okay. Yeah. It's unlike the first game where it was kind of like Max Payne where it was like a lot of combat. They definitely downplay that. What ends up happening, and I'm curious to see if this rings true with Saga's side, but on Alan's side, because he's in the dark place, everything is a shadow. So when you go into places, there'll be shadowy figures. Well, sometimes those shadowy figures will fuck you up because they're real, but other times they're just shadows, and once you like put the light on, they'll just kind of evaporate or kind of thing, but you never know what's what until you get close. So you're like always on edge. And it's wild the amount of, like I said, the dread that they have drummed up just from the atmosphere and the music and everything like that. Oh, that game is so good. Like it is definitely, even with all of its problems with this audio shit that's pissing me off, it is definitely a game of the year contender. Like it is just insane. And then the story, I think we might have talked about this or talked about it a little bit last week, because I know Drew was similar to where we liked American Nightmare quite a bit, and they pull so much stuff from American Nightmare. Like I'm so happy that wasn't just forgotten. Like there's so much stuff that is pulled from there. Like Alan Wake's. So the 2 different like stories, like Saga is investigating a serial killer or a cult, and Alan Wake is trying to escape the dark place, and he's essentially chasing Mr. Scratch, which got introduced in, which got introduced in American Nightmare.
No, Mr. Scratch is introduced at the end of Alan Wake.
Was he?
Yes. Oh my god, it's the guy that played Max Payne. He's
Yeah,
playing
it was the same dude.
No, but the guy that does the voice for Max Payne is the voice of the author that Alan Wake
Thomas
is staying.
Zane.
Thomas, yeah. So he at the end of the game says, "You're going to be down here a while, and Mr. Scratch is going to take your place." And when he says Mr. Scratch, it's not Mr. Scratch, it's Mr. and then it's a noise that sounds like scratching because you can't pronounce it. That's the introduction. And then when they did the spin-off American Nightmare, they were originally, that was the plan was to keep that canon. And then I guess when Control came out in the Alan Wake thing, they said that was no longer canon, I guess.
Yeah.
And then maybe they're reversing that decision. But yeah, no, Mr. Scratch is introduced. I want to say he's even introduced earlier on because you see him in one of those televisions.
The Night Spring episodes, or one of
something like that. I want to say you see him like at least once before in the original Alan Wake, but I can't guarantee that. But he is in the end.
Gotcha. Okay, right on. Well, yeah. Yeah. The game is great, and yeah, he's a big focus of. You haven't actually run into him yet. You more kind of see the aftermath, and what his goal is. Yeah. So it's I don't know. As a fan of American Nightmare and the first Alan Wake, like this has been just a joy. But all the problems. Oh Lord, go ahead.
I have two questions. One question really, but it's multiple products. How much marketing is in this game?
So none, actually. Wow. For real. Not because I remember they had like Duracell was the batteries that you use or whatever. Like they used
that or Energize. So yeah, it was
Energize.
real.
Yeah, I remember it was one of them. They were using like real stuff. Yeah, they don't have anything like that in this one.
Do you remember the DLC for the first game?
Was it the Signal?
Signal.
There was two, weren't there?
Yes, but the Signal was Verizon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And all the cars were Ford because the Ford and Microsoft at the time, like they were making the like GPS systems for Ford or some shit.
Dude, that was a different time. Do you remember the billboards in Rainbow Six Vegas? Like,
yes, I love all that stuff because it's just so campy, but it's realistic. But when all the cars are Ford, come on. All the batteries are Energizers. Come on.
Every pack you find, yeah.
Dude, once you know how
actually put that out.
Once you know how the sausage is made, it's broken. Like, when I tell you this, you'll never be able to watch a movie the same again. But did you know that Apple in movies will not allow bad guys to have an iPhone?
Come on.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Holy shit! You're right!
Yeah, bad guys never have an iPhone.
Oh my god! They always have like a flip phone,
yeah,
or like that's crazy.
Because Apple asks you for your moral standing when you're buying a fucking device made by basically slave workers in China from materials mined by children. Oh yeah,
right. Like I'm about to be paying attention to every movie I watch now. That is wild.
Yep. Huh. When somebody told me that, every movie I watch from here on out, I'm like, does the bad guy have an iPhone? Nope, he does not.
That's crazy. All right.
I love product placement because it's never good. It's never good.
No,
it's always stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed the Mountain Dew transformer when the vending machine transforms from a Mountain Dew machine. That was pretty funny.
It's only good when it's like dumb. I think the only time I've liked product placement like really legitimately was Pikmin. That was it. That was the only time it was cool.
Sometimes people do things for money. That's really sad.
What was it, Adidas or
Yeah,
Reebok?
he's wearing the Reebok, and he's got the hat on and everything. And then Wayne picks up the Doritos bag, and he's like,
Big shirts and frames.
Oh Lord. Okay. Two more things, and I'll be done. I'm sure Ryan's like, man, I want my turn. Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. I've begun playing it. I'm late on the embargo, but I'm reviewing that. It is, like I said, it's definitely the best League of Legends spin-off game I think that they've put out. Also the most like heartfelt. So it stars Nunu and Willop, who is a like giant Yeti creature, and Nunu is a little boy and they're like best friends. And it's wild because you control you control both of them at times, but when you're running around as Nunu, Willop is like doing his own thing, and he like I don't know, it's just so lovable. Like he'll randomly like throw a snowball at you because they're in the fjord. Lord Jesus, they in the frozen.
I mean, you just sound like you're
of
making up
Runeterra.
words altogether. So
At this
whatever.
point, they're all made up, but they're it's yeah. So they're in the snowy part of Runeterra, which is where League of Legends, that's the land that it takes place in. But they'll randomly just have like a snowball fight, or he'll like stop and stare something. And there's even a button where you can like go up and give him a hug, and like you can hold this button and give him like a long hug if you want to. Like it's just so cute. Like they really show the friendship between these two. Of course, they need, some drama. So there's an ice witch named Lysandra, who is also a champion in League of Legends, who they're going up against. She needs Willop for her nefarious purposes, and so we're trying to going to figure that all out. Basically, it's a platformer. It does have combat. It plays a lot like the Bayonetta, the baby Bayonetta game. So there are times where you'll, like in that game, where you would be with, not Cereza, what was it? Cheshire was his name. You'll, be controlling him, or she'll be riding him. So on this, like Nunu will be riding Willop sometimes, or they'll be apart and fighting separately. The control system that they have in place here is way better than they had in the Cereza, the baby Bayonetta game, because like they put each character on one of the sticks, and it was really weird. So like to do attacks and different stuff like together, like it was kind of off-putting. But this is not bad. So I'll finish it up and get some get a review out for that. And then the last thing, or maybe that's it. That's it. That's what I played. I'm sure I'll piggyback off of something else that somebody else says.
All right. Das Wombat.
All right. So, I have played. Well, I mean, it's been a couple weeks, right, since I've been here. So, I played a bunch of stuff, smaller stuff, just for a little bit of time. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I had been playing the first Rogue Legacy again, and I finished that. Well, finished in the sense that I beat the boss. It immediately drops you into New Game Plus after you beat the boss. So I haven't done really much of the New Game Plus, but I did beat that boss finally, which is, I had never actually finished the boss in all the times and all the hours that I had played that game before. So
Nice.
I was glad to get that done and over with. So I started the second one, which I had played before on Xbox, but I'm going back through it again here on Steam Deck. I love those freaking games. Those are two of my favorite games. So I anticipate spending a pretty significant amount of time playing both of those two. What else have I played? I tried to play. What was the game that I tried to play that was on Game Pass?
Thirsty Suitors?
Definitely not. Definitely not Thirsty Suitors. No, it was. I don't remember. I didn't like it. And I think I even said in the Discord that I didn't like it.
I was trying to think what came out. Like the only thing I remember playing this week from Game Pass was Jusant.
No, that wasn't it.
War Tales? Did you try War Tales?
No.
I looked at a screenshot of that and was like, nope.
Yeah, I did try that.
Well, go ahead. No, go ahead and talk about that for a second.
Okay. Yeah, I did try War Tales because I reviewed it on Switch because I was like, oh, I bet it, it runs better and probably performs better on Xbox. So yeah, I'll give it a try. No. It's just that game. So yeah, I'm good.
Well, so one game that I tried that I do remember and did like, while I'm trying to remember what the other one was Like a Dragon Ishin.
Oh, that game's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's really good. I'm not in the mood for it at this point in time. I'm gonna have to wait until the mood strikes me to play through that. But I enjoyed what I played quite a bit. So
you definitely have to be in a mood to play a Yakuza game. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now I remember. Now I remember what the game was. The other game that I played, Gotham Knights, which I was not a huge fan of. But I'm going to give it another shot. Not the least of which because I bought the WB Humble Bundle, and it's included in there. So if nothing else, maybe I'll give it a shot on Steam Deck and see if it's something I can play at an hour a time or something. But I don't know. I wasn't really a huge fan of what I played of it. I didn't really like the combat or the controls. But I'll give it another shot and see if I can get myself to like it. A game that I have spent a significant amount of time on and don't have to force myself to like is Baldur's Gate 3. Since the last time we spoke, I've probably put 40 hours into that game. And Jesus Christ, it's so good. What's funny is I literally just got into Act 2.
Nice.
This game does not. This game is not good for my obsessive need to complete things. Because there's a lot of shit to do, and there's a sort of point of no return, and it just terrifies me every time I think about. Like I can't do anything. I get paralyzed with fear when I think about progressing the story because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something.
Yeah.
And there's all the companion quests, and all the companion quests have different things that you have to do, and you can miss doing some of them depending on whether or not you either make a choice wrong or roll the dice wrong or leave an area too soon. There's a pretty cool quest a battle that, by the way, and I'm not ashamed to say this, I had to drop the difficulty to get past because it was I spent 3 hours knocking my head against the wall trying to get past this battle, and finally I just you know what? I'm just going to drop the difficulty, and I made it past first try. I don't know that I can say without it being a spoiler.
Oh well, I mean, I think okay. All right. I think I can guess.
I'll tell you offline.
Okay, that's fine.
But it was hard as shit. And I finally dropped it down to easy and was able to get past it the first time. But yeah, I mean, this game is just amazing. All the party members are tremendous. Although, what's funny is the party member that I don't really care about so far is the one that everybody seemed to be obsessed over, and that's Asterion. I don't really care that much about him.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Jay robbed him for his clothes.
Yeah, Jay robbed him.
I've barely used him. He is his story isn't all that interesting to me, although I'm trying to advance all the character stories where I can, so I'll do some more of it, I'm sure. But he just seems much weaker than the rest of the cast to me.
I'm going to say something, and it'll probably piss off a few people, but Asterion seems like every character that girls on Tumblr fall for off of British television shows.
Yeah, he's like he's a
He's
an
Doctor
elf.
Who
He's an
mixed
elf
with...
vampire. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's really all you
yeah.
have to say. He's an elf
He's
vampire.
a Time Lord.
Yeah.
He's really smart Sherlock Holmes. It's like, yeah, he's another
Yeah.
one of those.
But I enjoy everybody else. The Karlach, Shadowheart, Gale. I think in terms of companion quests, it's tough because like Gale's is really good, but Lae'zel's is good too. So I don't know. I'll have to wait until the end to decide which one I like the best. But my character is is it Oath of Devotion? Is that the one where you've basically committed an oath to protect people from like do heroic things and protect people from monsters and stuff? That's the kind of paladin I am, which opens up some fun dialogue options, but also, I mean, really prevents you from doing some things, even if you're purposely lying. So, like, there's a point, and again, I won't spoil anything, but there's a point where you can say one dialogue option to a specific character, and it'll force them to walk out of an area. And then as they're walking out of the area, you can destroy the bridge that they're walking over so that they fall to their death, and you prevent a decently hard fight. And it's an evil thing to say. And I had planned to just say it, to lie, let them walk across the bridge, blow the bridge up, and be done. And as soon as I said it, like half my party disapproved of me, and the ghost that shows up, like the paladin ghost that shows up when you break your oath as a paladin, was like, "Well, you broke your oath, so I'll see you later tonight." And I'm like, "Shit, man! All I was doing was lying. I wasn't actually going to be evil." But anyway, the game is amazing. It's now at the top of my game of the year list after the time that I've spent in it over the last week and a half, and it's basically a perfect game for me. It's got some good fan service for the first two Baldur's Gate games as well, which is nice. So yeah, I'm loving it. Even though I played the first two Divinity games, or Divinity Original Sin specifically, I forget how balls to the wall hard Larian can be. They do not fuck around. Like they do not hesitate to put you in a situation where it's like, okay, you got to be smart here, or you're gonna just die immediately.
Yep.
And it's this is the game that save scumming was meant for. I'm saving all the time. I save between dialogue options. I save before I walk in a room. I save before I do anything, because there's so many things in this game that can go awry depending on dice rolls or dialogue choices. So, but yeah, I love the game and I intend to keep playing it. And I gotta say, I am super impressed at how well it holds up on Steam Deck. I've played it mostly docked to either a monitor or my television. Now, granted, I can't run it at the highest, graphic settings. But when I'm playing it docked to my monitor, I'm playing it at 1440 by 900. I'm playing it with a frame rate cap of 30. And they just added FSR 2.2, which helps a lot, helps boost the frames, and it's not muddy like the other FSR is. And then I've got most of the rest of the stuff on medium, and it runs perfect. Again, it runs perfect for me. Some people may not like it, but it runs perfect for me. And I've got the texture quality at ultra, and it still runs
Wow.
fine. Now I don't have AA on, which I'm sure would bother a lot of people. It doesn't super bother me, but that's one area where I had to sacrifice to keep everything else at medium and texture quality at ultra. But it for running on a portable handheld device that was as cheap as the Steam Deck was, it's impressive as hell. In handheld mode, it also runs really well, and it actually looks better because the resolution gets downscaled since it's only 800p. But it burns through the battery if you're not playing it docked. I can get maybe an hour and a half out of it before it's just toast. And the other thing is, if you're running it docked, it does start to get a little hot. If you're running it undocked with the screen on as well, it definitely gets hot. So you can't. Even if the battery life lasted longer than an hour and a half, you wouldn't want to play it longer than that because it gets pretty warm. But for a handheld system to be able to run a game like this is impressive as hell. And I keep thinking as I'm playing the game that eventually I'll probably pick it up on PS5 as well if it drops in price. And since you can carry saves over. And if nothing else, maybe I'll play it on console for my second playthrough, because I'm already thinking about what I would do in a second playthrough with an evil character. So yeah, it's awesome. And we finally get a good video game representation of the Underdark. Although I guess the one in Neverwinter was pretty good.
It was, yeah.
But it's cool to get to see the Underdark and experience all the different things down there. But anyway, that's really it for me.
I hate that Dritz is a random encounter. That sucks. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't even know. I was confident he would be in the game because he was in the first two. But I haven't looked up anything about how to try to find him or what act he appears in or anything like that. I figured for this first playthrough, if I happen to run into him, I'll run into him. But yeah, I was not aware that he's a random encounter. That does kind of suck, but it just gives you another reason to play through the game again.
Well, that's what I've taken it as, because that's the homie. Like, I want to run into him, so yeah, I got reasons to play.
But yeah, that's so if I can say a couple negatives, I do wish that there was a I wish the game was more specific about what quests you might not be able to complete if you pass the point of no return.
Yeah, because it's not.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not real clear. And then, what was the other thing that I was going to say? There's also something else about. Oh well, must not have been that important. I'll come back to it if I think of it. I'm having a tough day.
I was gonna say you seem a little.
Can't remember names of games. Yeah, can't remember nothing. I will say so for future stuff, and I'll put this out there just in case anybody else is interested. There is a Steam sale ongoing right now until November 9th on the Mass Effect games. So you can get the remastered trilogy. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what that specific package is called.
Legendary Edition.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's I think $9.80 for all three games, and Andromeda is $5.99 or something like that, $5.89 maybe. So you can get all three regular Mass Effect games and Andromeda for $15. So
that's a deal.
yeah, if anybody is interested, that runs through November 9th. So check it out.
I just got to say that I find the Wombat heel turn to PC Master Race super funny.
Well, you know what's funny is it's you say that, but then I end up having to play everything like on downgraded graphics at 800p, so the PC guys wouldn't accept me anyway.
That's true. So you're kind of in that middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hated by
I
console
forgot.
gamers, hated by PC Master Race.
I mean, the PC guys hate themselves, so
That's
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And console guys just hate the other boxes, so whatever.
Right. Fair enough. Okay.
Right. Yep. But I mean, I can't say enough good things about the Steam Deck. That thing has been incredible, and the fact that it gives me an opportunity to not only play games on Steam, which is not really an option that I had before, but play a whole bunch of games that I've been thinking about going back to anyway on the go is a big win. So that thing's awesome. It's an awesome little machine.
Cool. Well, I will try to
That's
go.
it.
I will try to go through this stuff as quick as I can. I touched a lot of little things this week. Go ahead, clip
I
that.
forgot a couple games. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, we clipping that.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I did that just so you could clip it. There you go. There's mine.
Thank you. Thank you. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm probably going to hit the couple that you forgot. So
I think you will. Yeah. So go ahead.
I got a copy of Little Goody Two Shoes, but I haven't really played it much. I played for like 45 minutes, and it's one of those. I bitched about the save file thing, but the other thing I hate in video games, when I first boot you up, shut the fuck up. Like,
Oh man.
let me
yes.
play the video game. Like, there's like 20 minutes of dialogue for Little Goody Two Shoes at the beginning, and I'm like, dude, come on, just.
WarioWare has the exact same problem.
Yeah, like, dude, I don't need this conversation.
So with WarioWare, it's kind of like there's the intro, and it's like whatever, fine, okay, we're establishing why there's a new thing happening, like why we're using the Wii remote, or not the Wii remotes, see, the Joy-Cons the way we are and stuff. But every position has like a little bit of lore, but it's like so fucking slow. It's so. The first time you like playing the mini games, it stops everything to like show you the position and then kind of tell you a joke. And there's only been one that I was like, I can't believe they just did that. Like I was laughing, but like yeah, stop. I'm like, just show me a picture. I got it, man.
Yeah, it is annoying how much games just dialogue.
And now that I think about it. So it's same with World of Horror. You'll go through it, and every time you start it up, it'll play the intro sequence, and it's always the same. And you're just like, why is it doing this? And then on the main menu, if you go into options, you can turn it off. And I was like, oh, thank God. But yeah, like, I don't know. Just I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Speed
Not a long time. Right.
Exactly. Like, I'm going to play this. I'm going to give this, 45 minutes to an hour to check it out, and I don't actually play the game because you won't shut the fuck up.
Yep. I hate that. God.
So, a game that did not have anything to say, I can talk about. I guess the embargo drops tomorrow. I played that new Yu Suzuki game, Air Twister, which is essentially like a Panzer Dragoon.
Does it feel like a Yu Suzuki game from 2022 or whatever when it came out?
2022. No, it feels like a mobile game.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it was a mobile game.
It was a mobile game. That's the reason why I was
Yeah.
asking if it felt like, because you know how Shenmue came out.
Ugh.
Shenmue 3 specifically. I'm not even shitting on Shenmue. Shenmue 3, fans of Shenmue didn't deserve Shenmue 3.
Yeah, Shenmue 3 is not good.
Bad.
But Air Twister is essentially like a mobile Panzer Dragoon. You've got the same mechanics where you basically have two buttons because they have to keep it simple. One of them shoots, the other one, like, if you hold it down, it locks on and you can release it to do fire. I don't know how many stages there are, but it is essentially a roguelike where you play until you die and then you collect the coins and currency and you go level up and you unlock different hairstyles for your character because that's, of course, a thing. And then you can unlock like a skill tree, which after one run I unlocked like 20 spots on the skill tree. I was like, if your skill tree is this simple to unlock, it's probably not that good. Just saying.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I don't like the thing that stuck out to me the most about this game is that I'm not even kidding. The intro and the music in the game is straight up fucking Japanese Queen. Like,
Nice.
whoever this band is or whoever is doing the music in this game is like, you know what we need? We need some anime style sounds with some Queen melodies, and like that's what this is. Like, it's some wild shit. I kind of love it, and I'm kind of like weirded out by it. So I don't know how I feel about it. As I mentioned earlier, I did play Jusant. I don't think it's for me. This is a climbing game from Don't Nod.
Is it mostly story?
No,
driven?
it's mostly climbing. Like, it is literally mostly climbing. But it is done like you think. Like, how do you make a climbing game interesting? Well, it is that. What game did this? Where the left and the right trigger are your hands?
I mean,
Like a lot of
there's
games
a bunch of
that have
bunch
done
of games
that.
that have
Yeah,
done shit
but
like that.
I mean, a lot of VR games do that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
essentially
Well, I
that.
was thinking Robotic Alchemic Drive, which was the legs are L2 R2, and then the analog sticks were the arms.
That was
So
miserable.
that sounds like too much. That sounds like not a good
No,
time.
it gets even better. You would have to control a character and then stop them, and then they would use their controller to control the giant robot.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's made by the same people that did Earth Defense Force.
Yeah,
so
rad.
it's like a
Ah,
janky mess, but also kind of ingenious and unique.
yeah.
but Jusant is that where you're using the left and the right triggers to be your hands, and then you kind of move the direction. There's also a stamina meter, so you have to manage that. You can rest to restore your stamina as long as you put like a peg in the wall as you're climbing up.
Are we thinking Death Stranding? Because
Kind-
didn't that have the
kind-
balance system that you had to like hold on with the left and right? Like the L2 and R2s were the rebalancing.
No, there's literally some climbing. Like, I almost want to say it was Tomb Raider, but I don't think it was Tomb Raider. There was something where you
No.
had to pull the left and the right trigger to climb up walls, and I don't remember what it was. Like, it wasn't just like a VR game or something. It was like an actual game, and I don't remember what it was. But it's essentially that. That seems to be a lot of it. I will say it runs really well. It looks really cool. There is some story there, but it's like very minimal. So that's a good thing. Like, this game shut the fuck up right away, and I was climbing a wall, which was cool. So it's kind of neat. If you got Game Pass, I think check it out. Like, it's probably not going to blow you away, but it might be something interesting. Talos Principle 2, I played through the first couple worlds of that. That's more Talos
played that
Principle.
That's fun.
No,
I never played the first one.
I love those fucking games. Like, the whole
It's beautiful too.
the
Like,
domineering voiceover that is like walking you through it, and like the puzzles will really make your brain hurt. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird to think that this is the same people that make fucking Serious Sam
yeah,
too.
Crow Team. Yeah, it's
Is
weird.
it really?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
Crow
is.
Team made this. Yeah,
Wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, they definitely made the first one. I'm assuming they made the second. Yeah, they made the second. Yeah.
yeah, but
It's good.
it's really good. It's like there's so many Portal-esque puzzle games out there, but none of them have been as good as the Talos Principle. Like, these games are great.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there's like I want to say there's like 3 sort of series. There's Portal, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's Talos Principle.
Yep.
And then there's Cube.
I played a little bit of
QUBE.
Cube. I didn't care for it.
It's not the second one was better because it didn't just rip off Portal's aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know that I love it.
No, it's not. And it wasn't my Cube is not my favorite game, but I will give them credit. It was pretty good for one of those. I guess the Talos Principle was released on like Androids as a different like with a different name. I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, Sigils of Elohim.
That's the dude's name, so it makes
Right.
sense.
Elohim, which is Hebrew for God. That's the other thing. I didn't expect.
Sorry. I
Go ahead.
I looked it up. That was a free minigame prelude to
Oh,
Talos Principle. It's free to play on PC even.
I mean,
So, yeah, I
if
guess
you-
it's a.
if you enjoy cerebral puzzle games, you need to play the Talos Principle games.
I guess The Witness also goes in
Definitely.
that list. Although I didn't like The Witness.
I call The Witness the pretentious. That's what I think that game is.
I want to say there's a parody called The Looker.
Yeah, like The Witness is one of those games that like you don't feel smart when you finish something. You feel like the game is just laughing at you because you couldn't figure it out. Like you really didn't see the perspective thing of this wall and this shape, or this. You're fucking dumb. Maybe it's just the
Jesus.
creator that does that, but like that game is just I don't know. The other game you probably forgot to talk about was that old Call of Duty.
Yep.
Oh,
That was
I forgot
it.
that came out.
Well, it's just the campaign right now. Like that's the pre-order bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Which
But okay, so I don't know how you feel about Call of Duty. At least this one. So like I saw IGN gave it like a 4.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not great. First of all, like they said, it's really short, and I know y'all don't play Warzone, but it feels like like certain missions feel like DMZ
the open
segments
missions
of Warzone.
The open
Yeah, the
missions
open world
feel
mission.
like
Yeah.
bot levels.
Yeah, and that's what Warzone is. That's what DMZ is in Warzone. You drop in with your friends and you verse other bots, and there's some people in there too, and then you have to extract with stuff. Like it's so y'all just cut a section, and this is the other thing: the map that those missions are in, it's just the Warzone map. Like
Well,
that's it.
Let's be fair. If you remember, and I think a lot of people forgot this before it came out, this wasn't supposed to be a mainline Call of Duty.
I do remember that.
This
Yes,
was supposed
I
to
do
be
remember that.
DLC for Modern Warfare 2.
And it feels like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, can we also talk about how the menu system in this game is fucking terrible?
Well,
I'm sorry. Like when I
go ahead.
downloaded this motherfucker at 225 gigabytes, by the way,
Yeah.
it downloaded a whole bunch of Modern Warfare 2 shit. It downloaded like 40 add-ons, and then I get into the menu, and it loads up like this battle pass that drops like 50 items before I can even get to the menu. And then I get to the menu, and it's like, okay, now you have to wait to update, even though it was brand new and I already had to update.
Yep.
So then I load into the menu, and I got to scroll all over the place to find the campaign. I finally found it. I go into the campaign. The campaign's got to update, which every time Call of Duty updates, it's got to reset the game. Just FYI. Yep. And then I get into the campaign menu, and I finally start playing, and I leave, and I come back, and the fucking Battle Pass pops up again and shows me all the items that I could earn and my daily login bonus. And I just, dude, you're doing too much. You're doing way too much because all I want to do is play my 4 to 5 hour Call. Like, why is everybody complaining because it's 4 to 5 hours? Call of Duty campaigns are always 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're complaining about the length, because I don't necessarily care that it's short. Matter of fact, I appreciate that it's short because I personally only play those games for the multiplayer for real. Which it's funny to hear you talk about the menu and the UI and stuff, because if you played the multiplayer, you would know that we've been complaining about that, or they have. I haven't, because I don't really care. But that's been a big issue, because what they're doing is they're trying to make it into a launcher system. So that's why when you installed Modern Warfare 3, it installed all the Modern Warfare 2 shit, because right now Modern Warfare 2 is the driving launcher behind it, and then Warzone and Modern Warfare 3 now slots into that. So the thought process is that when it actually officially comes out, that they're going to make it so that Modern Warfare 3 will be what it launches into, and you won't get all the shit from Modern Warfare 2 like you had to do.
But you still have to download Modern Warfare.
You still got to download all that.
Which, by the way, ain't no hard drive on the planet going to hold all these Call of Duties.
No, like they're gonna have to start selling this shit with SD cards. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Like and then you can't tell it to not uninstall that stuff. Like you can, like on the Microsoft thing on the Xbox when you're installing it. But when you load into the game, it actually needs some of those files to do certain stuff. Like there's stuff that's called like a content pack that you might actually need to play multiplayer. So you have to have that plus the multiplayer install. Like their whole thing is just fucked up. Like I need Microsoft to streamline all of that.
Well, this is Microsoft's fault. I don't know if you know that, but on Twitter, the Call of Duty is bad now because Microsoft bought them.
Oh, I did read that.
And they built this game in 2 weeks. I don't know if you knew that because everybody online knows how the game dev works. But yes, Microsoft needs to figure this shit out. Like, let Call of Duty cook. Like, let this one just sit there for a year.
Yep.
Like we don't need another one next year because this is just a mess. Like when I'm playing it, I'm having a good time. Like some of those missions were pretty fun. But yeah, like that second mission when you go out into the shipping yard and you're literally just like running around everywhere. I was like, dude, I don't have to do anything. Like I can just run to the point.
That's all I did. Yep, that's all I did. I just ran. Like I ran through. I was like, "Oh, there's some rocket launchers. I'm gonna grab these. Okay, I'm gonna blow up this helicopter with this. Oh, we're gonna run away because these guys are chasing me. Not even going to fight them. Like you don't even have to fight anybody. I just ran from each point and blew up the objective, and then it progressed. Like,
yeah,
what the heck?
And then you get the. What kills me the most is like then you get these cutscenes. And you're like, this fucking cutscene is badass.
Yep.
Like when they're standing on the plane and launching the fucking thing out, like Ghost is standing there talking to Price and like all that stuff. It's like this is good shit. And then you get in the game, it's like, oh, I'm playing a bot match. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, man, I feel you. Like I definitely don't think it's a 4. Like I'm actually gonna write that review today.
No.
I'm not gonna give it a 4. It's not a 4. It looks great. I mean, it's short. The open world mission. I mean, they pulled from what they had. But if you look at it, and it was supposed to be DLC and stuff, all of this stuff kind of makes sense. But I think the bigger thing is that y'all selling it for $70. Like,
if I would have reviewed just the campaign, I'm not all the way through it yet, but like it feels like a 6.
That's where I'm at. I think I'm almost done. I'm probably further. I'm almost done. But yeah, that's where I was leaning. It's about a 6. Like a 4 is just. IGN got an axe to grind or something.
Dude,
like,
4 is what they gave Gollum, and they gave Quantum Error a 5, which I'm gonna tell you,
Hold on, quick question. This is Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
See, I already knew. Like, even though I wasn't here for the beginning of the conversation.
Yes.
So please enlighten me because I'm sorry. I know I have having you repeat yourself, but like that is DLC for 2?
Was supposed to be.
But you have to access it through 2 still.
No, it just downloads part of 2's DLC. So like when you buy Modern Warfare 3, it downloads a whole bunch of shit, and part of it is Modern Warfare 2 stuff.
Yeah, because Modern Warfare 2 is what the launcher is built on.
Okay, so now it makes more sense than what people have been saying, I suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, to know IGN gave it a 4, but they gave Quantum Error a 5, and I'm like, motherfucker, you would have to stretch me like 10 miles down the road to give Quantum Error anything bigger than a 3.
I'm gonna ask you to clip that.
Go ahead, let's go.
Lots of clips in this episode.
I'm giving you all the juice. All of
it.
But yeah, Quantum Error is like I've been trying to play through that. Like I'm not going to review that game, but every time I sit down to play it, it hurts. It's so bad. Man. It's so bad. And to call this worse than Quantum Error, I don't know what the fuck you're smoking. I really don't. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not the same reviewer, but at the same time, like how. Even when I played Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare remake there, like, I had issues with the campaign, but, like, it was still good.
That's my thing, is, like, I'm still having fun with this, even though it's not the best campaign.
Playing Call of Duty feels good. It's kind of like how I understand why people like Destiny.
Oh, it feels great.
Gameplay,
yeah,
because Destiny feels amazing. But as soon as you actually put that into any sort of situation, I'm always like, no, I'm not gonna play Destiny. But it still feels good to play. Like I don't play Call of Duty online, but it was still fucking a great feeling game to play online and get killed in.
100%. Like, Call of Duty feels great to play.
I think it probably comes down to, and there's different schools of thought on whether this is something that should be under consideration for a review or not. It probably comes down to expectations, right? And whether or not it's fair during a review to take into account the expectations that the buyer might have or the player might have before they start playing it. Because I don't think there's any doubt that people's expectations for a new Modern Warfare campaign are going to be higher than Quantum Error. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I feel like I can be of two minds on it, but I feel like it's hard for me to say if they're charging $60 for Quantum Error that you shouldn't be grading it on the same scale that you're grading Call of Duty on.
Yeah, the price is
or vice versa.
Yeah, it's really no different. Like, if Quantum Error was $20, I'd have a lot more leeway for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I know price is something that I know we at least consider in our reviews. Not everybody does, but we do. But expectations are another piece where it's always there's always sort of a I think what do you want to call it? Like like it's easy to lean into. Yeah, it's not that great, but quite honestly, I didn't have that high of expectations of it going in. Versus a game that you're super hyped about, and then you fire it up and it's boring.
Sure.
So I'm sure that, like Anthony said, it's different reviewers anyway. But I'm sure some of it too is there never would be the same expectations for Quantum Error as there would be for a new Modern Warfare.
To me, though, this is like, I understand what you're saying, like that people expect more from Call of Duty, but like. It's kind of like walking into the bathroom and sitting down and finding the toilet seat is warm and being grossed out, or walking into the stall and seeing that someone has shit all over everything. There's a bit of big fucking difference. Like,
I mean, that's fair. And
on that note, I think I'm priced out of the conversation.
I was just gonna say, like, it frustrates me when reviewers don't take into account the cost, because you are conveying to people who have to pay for it.
Exactly.
Like, I get that you got the code for free and you didn't have to pay for it, but you have to take into consideration that $70, $60 in this, especially in this economy, is a fucking lot of money.
$80 if you up there with Anthony,
yeah.
like, 80, 90, like, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the most expensive game I've bought that is like brand new, not special edition, is Tears of the Kingdom. Like,
man,
it is worth every penny, but now anything that is that price is going to inevitably be like, is it worth Tears of the Kingdom money?
Exactly.
And that's kind of like when I talk about WarioWare, which I do like, and Mario Wonder, which I do like, I'm comparing it directly to games that are the same price. Like, both WarioWares sold for $5 less than what Nintendo usually sells their games for. You're getting more out of the previous game. Mario Wonder costs the same amount as Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, plus, Mario Odyssey. And those games will go on sale too. So it's like hard for me to be like, yeah, go rush out and buy it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And so you're on a console where, Spider-Man has just come out. Are you really suggesting that, like, not that they gave Quantum Error a great score, but like, are you really suggesting that Quantum Error is worth someone's time, even if you think 5 is the middle ground, which
nobody does.
You're saying no, but like, you know what I mean? Like, and then saying like, well, the new Call of Duty isn't worth it. It's like, I suppose if you're not a Call of Duty fan, but like, I feel like that's not the audience that's going to be buying this.
No, not at all.
They're going to buy it anyways, probably, because like at the end of the day, multiplayer is the thing that brings people. They tried to get rid of single player though, and it backfired. So I'll give them credit. They at least do single player campaigns still. But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only in it for multiplayer. Like that's what I'm not only, but that's what I'm looking forward to. Like the campaign was always just something extra.
I'm always the other way around, where I'm like, we fucking blow up shit.
Yeah, I want the campaigns. I want the campaigns, and I'll be honest with you, I would not pay the $70 for this campaign. No fucking way.
No,
but I'm still having fun with it. Like, it's not horrible. I just wouldn't pay $70
at all.
If I force you to spend $70 on this or Quantum Error.
Oh, I would buy this in a heartbeat over Quantum Error. Like, if you had a gun to my head and said I had to spend the $60, $70, yeah.
What if I add in a third option, and that is Spider-Man 2?
Well, I mean, then I go to Spider-Man 2.
Right, exactly. And that's the problem with all this. Is like, just at the end of the day, say, guys, it's not worth it in comparison to blank.
Yep, 100%. All right. Nothing. I just got a code for Roller Coaster Tycoon on Friday. I haven't played a ton of it.
Is it a new game or a remaster?
I think it's a remaster of the first game. I think is what it is. It's just called Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventures Deluxe, and I think it's a remaster of the first game. The indie stuff didn't stick out to me this week, although there is a Metroidvania where you play as Ebenezer Scrooge, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, can you explain that to me? Because you wrote that, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to know more, but go ahead.
It's literally called Ebenezer and the Invisible World. It has like a cartoon art style, and you are basically playing as Ebenezer Scrooge, who's been reformed, and like all the people in the town are talking nice about you, and you beat up people with your cane.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
I gotta say, the artwork in this game is really nice.
Yeah, and it looks good in motion too. It doesn't look like super animated, but it looks good enough.
A game that I have not talked about. I played that last case of Mr. Fox or Benedict Fox or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or that Metroidvania. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this yet because I only played through like the tutorial. Like I just played a little bit, but like the idea of a Metroidvania as Ebenezer Scrooge during Christmas there's something kind of appealing about that. I don't know what it is. And I'm also playing Teardown, but I can't talk about it yet, even though it's out on PC. The console versions are coming in like 2 weeks, I think. So I'll be able to talk about that soon. But yeah, I'm going to skip over everything else because we're already super deep. And the Mario Kart Final DLC comes out this week, so I'm super stoked.
Finally.
Yeah. But speaking of what's out this week, again, we're in the thick of it. Lots of stuff out this week. Series X, PlayStation 5, Football Manager 2024, The Invincible, which I'm hearing a lot of good things about. Let's Sing 2024, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, RoboQuest. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to talk about Shrek Kart Racer.
Oh, the Shrek Racing, yeah.
Oh God,
it's just one of those. Like, there's literally nothing special about it, other than you have to listen.
Or worse than Nick.
It's not as good as Nick Kart Racing. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and you have to hear like the same 3 lines over and over again because they only recorded like 3 voice lines for each character. And the Shrek impersonator is not very good.
Donkey! Just constantly.
He doesn't say donkey. He doesn't. Unfortunately.
Donkeys is just, I'm making waffles. And you're just like, fucking Christ, this is bad.
It's not, it's one of those games, it's like, it's not offensive, but you wouldn't pick it over any of the other kart racing games.
How much is it?
Is it 30 or 40?
If it's 30, that ain't bad.
No, it's 40. Sorry.
Yeah, fuck them.
The only kart racing game that I think it's better than is Smurfs Kart Racing, which is not a high bar.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah.
Also, RoboQuest. I've had this game, I think, on my Steam wishlist for a while.
This is 1.0, I think, is what this is, right?
Yeah. FPS roguelite. But it's, I don't know, it's got like a Borderlands vibe, looks to me, without the constant humor.
Did it co-op?
Yeah, there's co-op. Fuck if I know, man.
I doubt it's Game Pass, but I know it is.
I'm looking it up.
Spellforce.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to continue going on, so if you got something to say.
No, yeah, please continue. You're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
Spellforce, Conquest of EO, Stranded, Alien, Dawn, Robots and Guardians, Stray, I'm assuming that's a physical version, 1010 Reporter, Cigars of the Pharaoh. Okay.
What? Wow. Okay.
Excessive Trim, that sounds dirty.
It's on Game Pass in Game Preview right now, so I don't know if that'll stay in Game Pass, but yeah, I'll be giving that a shot.
Lost Islands, Bem Fato, Berserk Recharged, Double Dragon Advance, Dungeons 4, Grace of Latoil, Iconai Island, and Earthlock Adventure. Is that part of the Earthlock series? I like those. I like that game.
I think it is.
Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. That's out this week.
Yay.
Damn, that is this week.
Also, yes, it is part of the. There is 3 Earthlock games: Earthlock 2, and Iconai Island.
God, I only played the first one. I didn't even realize there was a second one. Shit.
It says it came out last year, but I assume because Iconai is in early access when I find the page on Steam, so I'm assuming the other one's probably early access as well.
Man, I like that first game. That first game was cool. Super Double Dragon.
It was.
What's that?
I said it was good. The first one was good.
Yeah, I like that first game.
The first one probably was added in 2022 to Steam, but it is saying the release date is 2024, so you have time, Ken.
Okay.
And it looks like it's a big upgrade in terms of graphics too.
I love the way the first one looked. So, Tales of Arise, Beyond the Dawn, While the Iron's Hot, Wild Shade, Unicorn Champions, Air Twister, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and Disney Dreamlight Valley Cozy Edition.
Not the free one.
I was gonna say cozy, as in we have wrapped ourselves in the dollars you have given us because the game's not free anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
PlayStation.
I'm telling you, when that Multiverses comes back, if it comes back, it ain't gonna be free either.
PlayStation 5 is mostly the same. We do have Happy Funland Souvenir Edition, Kill It With Fire VR, The Forest Cathedral, Gunhead. What else we got on here? Mayhem Brawler, and Quantum Error, for those who didn't pre-order early access.
Oh, I thought it was out. That was an early access deal?
That was early access for October 31st. The final game comes out.
Oh, these dudes are wild. They doing the most. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So Gunhead, this is another Ken favorite. Gunhead is a fast-paced strategic roguelite FPS where you take the role of a pirate mech with a gun for a head, looting derelict spaceships filled with monstrous drones made out of bones and steel. It's apparently a sequel to the 2D roguelite Cryptarch. I don't know Cryptarch. I'm going to tell you right now, visually, it reminds me of... It looks like you took Borderlands, like art style, and pushed it into Doom 2016.
I'm going to create a new hashtag.
Please stop
with the roguelites. Stop! Alright, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, looks like it's all the same. There is Burning Secrets, a Barra visual novel. Xbox, probably all the same shit too. Yeah, all the same shit. So let's get on over to the Switch. Oh, fun. Although last week we didn't get anything fun, it made me sad. Alright, Nintendo Switch. That's all the same. Game Advent Calendar, 25 days, 25 surprises.
I bet the surprises are walking into that same stall I mentioned earlier and finding shit everywhere.
Yeah, probably. Salt and Sacrifice making its way to Switch. Risk of Rain 2 and Risk of Rain Returns. 9 Years of Shadows. Catan is coming to Switch. Dragon Wings. Arrow Gods Olympus. Flooded. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 6. Sanabi. Verse Evermore Error Salvation? Sure, why not?
You just said blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what the heck?
I just Bob the Elementalist. That's one.
Weird follow-up to Bob the Builder.
Yeah. Claire Extended Cut, Poly Turbo Drift Racing Simulator, Sakura Alien 2, Slaughter the Lost Outpost, The Trotties Adventure, and Village Tycoon Farm City Simulator. There's your games for the week. News. Final wave of Mario Kart DLC drops November 9th. Twitch on the Nintendo Switch will be shut down January 31st, 2024.
What the heck?
Yep.
I didn't even know they had Twitch on Switch.
I didn't either.
Didn't either.
I didn't either.
New NSO.
Which tells you why it's getting shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
New NSO games. Boy, they're really digging way back here. We got Devil World, Mysterious Murasame Castle, and Castlevania Legends.
I'm actually excited for the first two.
Castlevania Legends is the Game Boy game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Murakami Castle, I believe, is like a pre-Zelda-like game, I want to say.
Aren't like two of these games Japan only? Like,
yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Devil World is Japan only too, but like I don't think there's anything that's Japanese in it. I think it's all English. It's like a black box sort of game. Very simple, very like arcadey. But yeah, I never got a translation. I think that's because of Nintendo like not wanting to have devils and crosses and stuff.
Boy, what are people on the internet going to do once Nintendo does announce a new console? Because we have a new patent filing for Nintendo for a dual screen console that can be split into two parts.
Oh gosh.
So yeah. PlayStation Plus Essential Games for November 2023. We got Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, Dragon Ball The Breakers, and Aliens Fireteam Elite.
That's a lot of shit.
Also, we don't have to do games with gold anymore.
Yeah, that was a lot of shit.
It's dead.
It's dead. Gran Turismo 7 Spec 2 update includes 4-player split screen, 7 new cars, 50 new challenges, and more. Bungie is in the news, laying off 8% of its workforce, around 100 people. Sales running 45% below projections for this year. The layoffs are part of a bigger revamp at PlayStation. Studio would be in danger without the Sony buyout. There are no plans for a Destiny 3, and it seems like the final shape being a make-or-break point for Destiny. So it looks like Destiny might
Isn't consolidation fun, everybody?
Oh, well, speaking of that, Sony Interactive Entertainment has also acquired iSize, which is a UK-based company specializing in deep learning for video delivery.
Okay.
And then The Last of Us Season 2 is expected to start production in early 2024. Grounded.
I'm just gonna say something that's a little rude, but like anytime like they're like, we specialize in deep learning, I want to tell that whole company to suck my dick. Like, just fuck you. It seems like the people that it's just like, yeah, this is the company that's trying to just accelerate the apocalypse. Like, yeah, fuck it. We don't need people. Just automate everything. Yeah, it's not a nightmare. Don't worry about it.
Grounded, Make It and Break It update adds a playground mode, which is basically a level editor where you can build your own backyard sandbox.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, that game. I'm happy to see what that game's doing, even though it never clicked with me. So, new Xbox Game Pass games, Thirsty Suitors, everybody here's favorite game. I know y'all should go play that.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
I actually may check it out. It looks kind of interesting.
I've heard you talk about it. I don't know what this game is. Is it that type of game?
It is. So from my understanding, it comes from the same guys who did Monday Night Combat and that Bird VR game. I don't remember what it's called. Fuck, I always forget the name of it.
Not the Ubisoft one.
No. This is like the
Falconeer.
No, not the Falconeer. Oh fuck! It was PlayStation VR. And they brought it to
Falcon Age.
Falcon Age. That's the one. Same devs. And apparently, this is about a girl who is like her exes are like Scott Pilgrim kind of thing, where her exes are trying to get her back, and like you do battles and like there's cooking and skateboard. Like it's a weird game.
Okay.
So I haven't played it. I don't know much about it. A lot of people say it's pretty cool, but I just don't know that I need another horny game.
I don't.
Cool.
I'm
Anthony,
looking at
you
it.
probably should check it out. I think from what I know about it, you may vibe with it. Like
I'm looking at it. It's not. The name made me think
something else. Yeah.
Horny game.
Yeah,
the
but I don't think it
the screenshot says that is not this at all.
Yeah, I think you may, because I actually have it installed. I plan to check it out. Like I think you might vibe with it because you like the kind of laid back. Because like it has like the battles I think are tactical, and then it has like skateboarding stuff, which is probably not as in depth as Tony Hawk. But I saw you could do tricks and different stuff like that. And then like you do cooking with her father, I think. And then there's like bonds that you do that gives you other cutscenes and stuff like that. Like it's that type of thing. Okay. So I don't know. I'm gonna mess with it and check it out.
I'm doing the thing right now, guys. I'm gonna scroll down, and oh shit, it's playable on Xbox One. Nice.
All right. Also included in Game Pass, we're getting Football Manager 2024, Like a Dragon Gaiden, Dungeons 4, Spirit Tea, Coral Island, Wild Hearts, and War Tales. Baldur's Gate 3 is still planned for Xbox this year, so running out of runway here, but. You know.
Why you laugh like that, though?
I don't. Microsoft has changed its policy and will no longer allow unauthorized third-party Xbox accessories starting November 12th. According to sources, Xbox is expanding its approval for third-party wireless controllers. Third-party accessories which connect to the accessibility controller are not affected. I wonder if this is going to break fight sticks, because if this breaks fight sticks, that just might be the nail in the coffin.
It will 100%. Yeah. Most of the negative feedback to it I've seen has been from people who are afraid they're not going to be able to use their fight sticks anymore. Yeah. Some of those custom fight sticks that they've probably spent a significant amount of money on.
Yeah, I have a couple of them, and it's weird how they get around it on Xbox. You basically plug the Xbox controller into the fight stick, so it thinks it's an Xbox controller. I wonder if those will break.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
That may not, because it's full. Unless they didn't develop something against it.
I'll test it and let you know on November 12th, because I've got 2 fight sticks. I actually did get that Galaxy Black one. I just ain't had a chance to plug it in yet. So
nice.
I haven't had an urge to go back to MK1, but Omni-Man coming out, I might have to boot that back up. So this was a story. Apparently, Microsoft employees, permanent employees, were receiving Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for free. They took it away, and then Phil Spencer said, "Oh hell no, you ain't," and he gave it back. So there's the story.
Wow.
Phil Spencer said, "I don't know. I didn't know anything about this. Y'all ain't losing your Game Pass." So
they really just want this man, his little legend. Like they really just do it a lot to beef up his little gamer legend.
Sure. But I mean, it's a good PR for him, you know.
Oh, for sure. All day.
Starfield's next big patch will add NVIDIA DLSS support with frame generation, display, and HDR controls, and other improvements in Steam beta next week before it goes live on PC and Xbox. Machine Games Wolfenstein / Indiana Jones opens a new studio in Sundsvall, Sweden. The new office will be...
I haven't seen anything from them. Stop opening studios. I want to see something that you've actually fucking finished.
Well, the studio won't be active until 2025.
3 fucking years. Yeah, I know, but we haven't seen anything from Machine Games.
BlizzCon was this weekend, and that is now a Microsoft event, just so you know.
Not weird at all.
No. Phil Spencer did say the words StarCraft, which got people excited.
Oh, nice. I didn't even watch
it. He said the word StarCraft.
He said the word StarCraft.
Wait, was he talking about a boat? Or, because I think there's a brand of, like, jet ski that's StarCraft. Was he talking about a jet ski? Because don't be tricky, Phil. Don't do that.
You don't know.
When you actually are getting, like, wood and stuff, like, you can come off the ship.
I'm so happy that I could bring that back around to that.
Updates for the games. We got a lot of updates. Overwatch 2 gets a new hero. I butcher his name. He's a tank hero. His name's Mauga, I think.
Yeah, he looked like The Rock, and he got 2 chain guns. He looked hard, actually. Like,
I
did you play as him?
I played him. So he was available this weekend. I did hop in and check him out. He seems pretty cool, but he doesn't seem to have a lot of sustain. So like,
Ooh, okay.
like healers are gonna have to pump a lot of healing into him because he seems to go down pretty fast. But he's fun to play. So
He's a tank, though, ain't he?
he is a tank, but he's only got like 550 health, I think.
Huh.
So
Okay.
I don't know. He's an interesting dynamic. It'll be interesting to see how he plays out. They also showed off a new DPS and support hero, which are coming in 2024. They also announced the revamp of competitive play. They're getting rid of the cards. No more cards to see how you're doing. You don't have to win 5 or lose 15 to get your ranking update.
That's good.
They're adding a new mode called Clash, which they reworked Hanamura into a new map for this new mode, which is essentially, think of it as tug of war, where there are 5 points and you move towards one side or the other on offense and defense. So
We have that already.
Oh.
It's got a big fucking robot.
yeah, but this time now it's points. So
Battlefield does that. It's called Rush. But
Yep.
okay. All right.
That's essentially what this is. So, Overwatch,
That's cool.
like all the Overwatch streamers were like, we're so back. I was like, man, I loaded into some games this weekend. We ain't back. You fix that matchmaking, we might be back. Like, all this other stuff is just like icing on a shit cake right now because the matchmaking is terrible.
I didn't hear you say nothing about matchmaking, so I guess
The
they
person-
didn't talk about it at all.
The person that left that fucking massacred stall at least put some fucking air freshener out
Yeah.
there.
I gotta say,
Like,
though,
gee, thanks, man.
they did show the new DPS hero, and that is a cool mechanic. He's essentially a fucking mole. Like he can dig.
Really?
Dig. I'm sorry. It's a non-binary character. They can dig underground, which is super fucking cool. Like they actually had gameplay of it. It looks really cool.
Reverse
When
Pharaoh.
it's supposed to drop.
The new DPS hero is season 9 or 10. I can't. It's 2024. So.
Oh, okay. So next year. Okay.
Also, they're resetting everybody's rankings for the Overwatch competitive update in season 9.
How you feel about that?
We'll see where I land.
All right.
It's not an MMR reset, it's just a ranking reset.
Oh, okay.
So my MMR is still there in the background. So we'll see. I'll be excited to not have to wait 5 games or 10 because I lose more than I win to find out how far I dropped. So there is that. Diablo 4 is getting its first expansion called The Vessel of Hatred, launches in late 2024, and brings a new class to the game, which apparently has never been in a Diablo game.
I didn't see there was getting a new class. That's cool.
Hearthstone expansion Showdown in the Badlands launches November 14th. Hearthstone Battlegrounds gets a co-op mode where you can team up with someone coming in 2024. And why the fuck not, but we announced 3 World of Warcraft expansions.
Yep.
Warcraft
with a fucking killer cinematic for the first one.
I mean, Blizzard
Man,
cinematics.
that was hard.
As much as I'm pissed off at Overwatch when they showed that trailer with that music, I was like, I'm in. Let me play. Like Blizzard just does the best cinematics. Fucking crazy.
Like I said in the Discord, I'm not sure why they haven't just gone ahead and made a full Warcraft movie in CGI. Like their cinematics are so good, they could do.
Yep.
Dude,
I think a really good CGI movie or set of movies.
If you take all of Overwatch's cinematics and play them, they're like 3.5 hours long. Like, why is this not like a Netflix show?
Remember that weird Warcraft movie?
The one that was forced to be made by like China or something like that?
Yeah, like
I liked that movie.
All
It
you
wasn't
needed
that bad.
though, I'm not saying it's
Yeah,
bad.
I didn't.
All you needed was
see
literally the screen, like the videos from those games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why are we going through? Just do what you do for the video games. Just don't make the game portion.
That's how I follow the story, because I stopped playing WoW forever ago, but I'm caught up because I watch people put together the cutscenes, like from the different dungeons and stuff, and they put it together as it makes sense. And that's like I watch it as a movie. Like I spend an afternoon and freaking catch up on World of Warcraft, and it's so good. Like I don't know why Blizzard doesn't do that.
It's hard telling. All right, numbers time.
I keep thinking about because I know it'll run, so I keep thinking about putting WoW on my Steam Deck and just playing the free, like up to level 20. I think it is. They'll let you play for free.
Yeah, you should.
Because it's been 20 years since I played, so
probably a little different.
Yeah, well, they've got WoW Classic too. But yeah, I'm confident it's very different than when I played. But
All right. Numbers time. Five Nights at Freddy's movie made $78 million with its domestic debut and $130 million globally over the weekend. And remember, this thing was streaming on Peacock. Like, you didn't have to go to the theater.
Yeah, that's how I watched it.
Yep, me
watched
too.
it. The kids watched it on Peacock.
The 10th anniversary of Assassin's Creed Black Flag last Monday. It has now surpassed 34 million players. My Hero Ultra Rumble is 7 million downloads. And Fortnite brought back the old map and apparently hit over 6 million concurrent players.
Yeah, and it's wild too because my son, he was like, "Yeah, everybody getting hyped because they brought the old map back," but he's like, "Nigga, it's still new Fortnite. Like they didn't bring back the old weapons and stuff," and that's true. Like I think everybody was just coming back at the hype of Tilted is back and stuff, but like the weapons and mechanics and stuff is still what they were, which is nice for them and that's cool. But yeah, I don't know, I haven't played it yet.
Acquisitions for the week. Devolver Digital acquired System Era, which is the team that made Astroneer. And Atari entered into an agreement to acquire Digital Eclipse, which are the guys who made the Atari 50th anniversary and the making of Karateka. How do you say karate? I still call it Karateka.
Karateka.
All right. Releases. Sonic Dream Team is coming to Apple Arcade on December 5th.
I'm excited.
It looks awesome. Me too. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Remnant 2 DLC, The Awakened King, dropping November 4th. There's a game everybody forgot about. Bloodborne Kart launches on January 31st. Whatever, man. Roller Drome is coming to Xbox Series X and PC, Windows Store, and Game Pass on November 28th.
Oh, nice.
Sniper Elite VR Winter Warrior launching November 30th on MetaQuest. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link launches 2024 on telephones. What else we got here? Starfield's next big patch, we already talked about that. Exoprimal Monster Hunter collaboration starts January 18th. Delays, just early access of the days before, been moved to December 7th, and Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising delayed to December 14th, so I know Jay is upset about that. What else we got here? Hideki Kamiya and Shinji Mikami will host a talk about their careers and future plans at the Archipel Caravan on December 15th through the 17th. Yu Suzuki did an interview with IGN where he says Shenmue 3 was made to please the fans, but if he could make Shenmue 4, he wants it to be enjoyable for newcomers. He also thinks that Yakuza 0, like Shenmue game, could be a turning point for this series.
Okay. All right. Yu Suzuki's full of shit. Because he tried to make the... listen, I'm not going to spend my time playing those games. But I watched a guy who was clearly a Shenmue fan talk about Shenmue 3, and he was like, this was nothing for the story. But he even goes into the details of the video, like the actual video game portion of it, and he was like, it's not fun. The combat system was reworked for new audiences rather than be sort of like putting in fighting moves. It was just like, yeah, just mash buttons. And then eventually he would work out a combo based off the buttons you mashed. Yu Suzuki's full of shit. I'm just, stick to making arcade games, man.
Capcom says they're still planning to release a major game that's not been announced before the end of March 2024. I'm still guessing it's Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
too.
I think it's Monster Hunter too.
Konami released a teaser trailer for Metal Gear Solid Legacy series with David Hayter, and he said, "This is only the beginning. At the end." He's probably just referring to the Metal Gear Solid collection too.
Metal Gear.
Probably.
Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, was previously planned as DLC for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The whole game took them 6 months to make, and the studio has one team that worked on 3 Like a Dragon games at the same time.
Jesus.
I don't think these dudes sleep.
I don't think they do. My God.
So I was reading more into that, and it appears that like they kind of do it in a way that's way smarter than we would think. Basically, like, hey, are you the guy that works on modeling the city? Well, you already have the model done, so why don't you do it for all 3 games, right? The parent, like, I'm the guy that does the dart mini game. Well, you're doing the dart mini game for all of them.
I mean,
stuff like that. And I'm
they
like,
reuse
yeah,
a
that makes
lot of
sense.
stuff, yeah, for sure. But the writing and the side missions are what make those games. So
Yeah, I didn't want it to seem like they were also just like, and you're working on 3 games, deal with it. It's just like, yeah, they break up that, so it's like you're constantly doing the same job, because why would they have someone else come and try to, I don't know, rework bowling if you're the bowling guy?
fair. All right, I'm convinced Dead by Daylight's a fever dream at this point, because they announced another collaboration this week, and boy, you reached into a bag that ain't nobody fucking touched in a while. It's behind the toilet that Anthony was talking about earlier.
Jesus, what is it?
Fucking Naughty Bear. Y'all remember
The
Naughty
game?
Bear?
Brennan texted me that. Yeah, he was like, they said the same thing. He was like, they got a Naughty Bear skin coming to
What?
Dead by Daylight. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't even know who Naughty Bear is.
dude, it was
so,
Okay,
it was a 360 PS3 game, and it was terrible.
And you were a bear who was naughty, and you killed other bears, and like violently.
Yeah,
But they were stuffed
violently.
animals, so it could be like a teen-rated game or whatever. And then they did a special edition or something like that, and it was the cover of Kill Bill, but it was the bear.
It's such a weird. It's one of those 360 PS3 games that you don't hear about anymore. Like, nobody talks about it. Think of it in the same vein as like Hail to the
Oh
Chimp.
God, it makes so much sense. Apparently they were. Oh my God! So apparently a sequel was made.
Yes,
It was
Naughty Bear
download
2.
only.
Yes.
I didn't
Naughty
know
Bear
that.
Panic in Paradise. As soon as I read like who developed Naughty Bear, it made sense though, because Dead by Daylight is made by Behavior Interactive, who was formerly known as Artificial Mind and
Artificial
Movement,
Mind.
who
Yeah,
made
it's their
Naughty
thing.
Bear.
Gotcha.
Jesus
I
Christ.
didn't think about that.
So they just own the license.
Yeah, they reviving it. That's what it is. They try to bring Naughty Bear back. All right.
I'm so glad Anthony is here for this next story. So
I'm not.
apparently Best
Whenever
Buy
he says this, it's not good.
apparently Best Buy put up the description for the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh no.
So we got some bullet points here about this product.
Can I guess what one of them is?
Go ahead and guess, and I'll let you know if you're right.
It's. I'm just gonna say it spoils the ending.
No.
Oh wow! Wow. Okay. I'm. He's dealing with depression.
No.
Okay, so those are the 2 things I was like, they're gonna just.
This might be worse.
Right say.
This might be
Oh,
worse.
no.
All right, so here's the bullet points. Take on the role of James Sunderland as he makes his way through the horrifying town of Silent Hill, as he's hunted by terrifying creatures, all while trying to uncover the truth of a dark mystery. Bullet point 2. Enjoy the experience.
Okay, so hold on. Let's just. I want to say it now, so I don't have to go through them after. That's not bad. Continue.
Enjoy the experience of playing through a seminal horror game, all with modern graphics exclusively on your PlayStation 5.
I suppose if we just don't think about it too hard, sure.
There's only one of these that's bad. I'm going to save it for last. So the
Okay.
next one is Silent Hill 2 for PlayStation 5. It's produced by Konami and developed by Bloober Team in collaboration with Akira Yamaoka and Masahiro Ito. And finally,
I'm pretty sure at that point it is like we still have the rights to use the music, and the guy who made Pyramid Head didn't say we couldn't use him.
the final bullet point.
Oh no.
Fan favorite character Pyramid Head makes a return along with a special origin story for fans to play through.
No.
Oh yeah, I read that last night.
No, he doesn't return. This is the first time he shows up. And a priest, god damn it.
Welcome to hell. Alright.
What are you gonna do? What the fuck are you gonna do with Pyramid Head?
Alright,
it's so bad. This whole idea is bad.
Let's do some emails. Jeremy writes in and says, "Hey guys, I thought I was pretty much done with Mario Wonder until I found a little extra something something. I'm trying to 100% all the levels, so when I pre-ordered, I got a little collectible card pack with it. I decided to look online and found those cards were going for $30 to $40 a pop. Sold them for $30, kind of blew my mind. Have you ever gotten a pre-order bonus that sold off or knew it was stupid? Went for a stupid price online. Thanks always for the show." People pay a lot of money for dumb shit on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have, like, all my pre-order stuff has generally been digital goods, even when it's like a physical copy I was buying. I don't think I have anything. Like, I have a couple. I have like the Final Fantasy VII Remake business card holder tin thing. That's really weird. It has like a fake Shinra card in it.
Okay. I'm sure I had some stuff that could have been sold for ungodly amounts of money, and I probably threw it away at some point.
My employee number is A65187961593. Apparently, I'm the Shinra staff. Shinra Electric Power Company staff, leading progress with Mako. That's like the only thing I can think of that's like a physical pre-order that I have.
Fucking Xbox Live Gold Diamond card. Remember those? Your gamer tag on it.
I have one of those. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I have one somewhere sitting. I have no idea where it is.
It's in a box, I'm sure.
All right, Blue Skies. Daryl writes in and says, "Hello guys, you mentioned how the Sony ponies were crying about Xbox not mentioning that a game was shown during their partner Direct was also coming to PlayStation 5. I recall that during a PS5 Direct earlier this year or end of last year that there were a dozen plus games that were also for Xbox, but they didn't mention. Xbox tweeted later a picture of dozen or so games that they stated were coming to Xbox. It's not like it said Xbox exclusive. I'm so tired of Sony fanboys. I have all the consoles, but the Sony ponies are by far insufferable."
I'm gonna say something in defense of the Sony ponies, but not their position. Just like kind of like the most annoying group is the one that's winning.
Oh, it always is.
Right,
Yeah.
like Xbox, like at the beginning of the PS4 Xbox One generation, a bunch of people with Xbox are like, I can't believe you bought a PS4. I'm like, I'm gonna end up with both.
Yeah, I also disagree that there's any worse version of fanboy than another. They're all pretty insufferable.
Oh, they're all just awful people, and Anthony's right that whoever is the winning team currently, I'm using the finger quotes for that, is just the loudest and the most annoying. So it doesn't really matter. It just happens to be that Sony is usually winning. I say winning, which is hilarious because Nintendo's kicking everybody's ass, but
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Sony fanboys post Starfield and the Xbox fanboys post Spider-Man have both been equally insufferable to me.
I keep seeing this meme that floats around, which is perfect, where it says, if you claim you hate Xbox and all you do is talk about Xbox, you don't hate it, you're obsessed with it.
Yeah, true story.
I mean, that is just, and that works for every console. It's not exclusive to Xbox. All right, this next, he's taking a shot at me in this next sentence. He says, "By the way, I think my game of the year is Spider-Man 2. So much fun and very polished. Baldur's Gate 3 is up there too. To be honest, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was not that great. I'll stick by my statement that it's glorified DLC, and I played 20 plus hours. It's good in the same way Super Mario Wonder is good, but not game of the year material. Ken, you're nuts."
Oh.
I like how your accent changed, the voice that you used as you read it. That was nice.
I'm just going to say right now that if you feel like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is glorified DLC, we can't be friends.
Dang.
That's like saying Spider-Man 2 is glorified DLC. It's the same map.
Yeah, it's literally New York City.
Like, what are you going to come at me with Tears of the Kingdom, huh? Is it because it's the same map? Huh, Spider-Man is too. I think Spider-Man 2 is a great game. It'll probably end up in my top 10. But there's nothing's going to take me away from Zelda at this point. Nothing.
It's alright, because everybody else is wrong anyways, because Pikmin 4 came out this year.
Anthony sits on a throne of his own. That's what he does.
Listen, it was not my generation that went to see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I lived in the aftermath of that. And it's still a great concept of being small in the normal world. And Pikmin does it the best.
I think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is tied with Beethoven with the movie series that you didn't know there were 47 sequels for.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, and
Definitely.
the TV series and all that shit. Yeah,
like Beethoven had like 12 movies and like 17 of them were straight to video. And don't try to do that math because it'll just break your brain.
And Beethoven's like at least Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was a good movie. Beethoven was never good.
I like the first Beethoven because
It's
Charles
actually-
Grodin. Charles
the
Grodin
first one
is great.
It's anodyne nonsense.
That's fine. I was a kid.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, it's hard to go back to as an adult and be like, yeah, this is...
Motherfucker,
It's
they
horrible.
had, like, Ernest Goes to Camp hasn't been streaming on anything, and I saw it on Hulu the other day, but you gotta, like, have live TV shit to watch it, and I'm like, fuck off.
The best Charles Grodin movie is Clifford, anyway. So
I'm with Taking Care of Business, where he's or Midnight Run, one of those two. Those are my favorite Grodin movies. All right, tweets, and then we'll get out of here because this is a long show.
Also, just while I'm at it, fuck Airbud, too.
I don't have any nostalgia for Airbud. Sorry.
yeah, I have no nostalgia for Airbud. That was
Good for you.
That was after I was an adult already.
Yeah. All right, Curtis.
Imagine taking your kid to practice and having them shown up by a fucking golden retriever.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably every day for me.
Time to
Curtis,
get a new kid.
Curtis writes, "What's up, fellas? Hope all is well. So many games to play. Where is the time? 2023 is insane. I can't believe the amount of quality indie and AA games that are out. What did we do to deserve them? Well,
Right.
I don't know that we deserve them, because all we do is bitch about them on the internet, and also everybody got fired in gamings this year, so, you know.
Also, pandemic.
Yeah, this is kind of the
This
sprinkling.
is hey, we got back into the office and actually wanted to work together side by side for a little while before our upper management fired 90% of the team.
And these are all the games that were supposed to launch with these new consoles, but they didn't.
Some of them, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, like some of these games were probably supposed to be done a couple years ago, but
Am I crazy? Did God of War 2 not come out this... Like Ragnarok come out this year?
no, it was
No, that was last year.
Last
That was
year.
last year?
year.
It all feels like 1 year still.
No, it's because Judge is still giving that acceptance speech. You probably caught wind of it when you went outside. That's why you thought. It's okay.
You know what? I think I may have confused it because Horizon, the DLC, came out earlier this year, and last year they came out pretty close together, I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Relatively.
Well, yeah, the Horizon DLC definitely did, and no, they didn't come out close together. Although they did
No?
come out the same year.
I thought they were like a month apart.
No,
I
It
don't
was like
think so.
6 months, I think.
Clearly.
Yeah,
time
Horizon
means
was early in
nothing
the
to
year,
me.
I think.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
Ragnarok
'cause they
was
tried
later.
to do the March release, and I think something. It was Elden Ring that came out right around this.
Correct.
Didn't the
Yeah.
Horizon DLC come around the same time as Tears of the Kingdom? Am I crazy thinking that?
Close
No,
to
March
it. But it
was the DLC, and
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom was July, June.
Okay.
July.
May. No, Tears of the
May?
Kingdom was May. Yeah.
Okay. Like Horizon's release schedule is the absolute fucking worst. Whoever is like putting the release dates on those games needs to be fired. Shogun writes in and says, I feel like we've gotten to the point where we criticize the critics for criticizing. I understand there's hate for Call of Duty, but is this new Call of Duty really worse than King Kong and Gollum? I mean, a 4 out of 10.
Oh my god,
wow.
it's worse. Did they write King Kong with a better score?
I don't know if anybody actually reviewed King Kong because they did not send codes out.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm looking it up.
I know King Kong got some reviews because some people went out and bought it as obviously the way to farm impressions because obviously everybody wanted to know how bad it was.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so they gave King Skull Island Rise of Kong a 3 out of 10. Or
So it's
whatever.
1 point worse
who's
than
they?
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
IGN.
Oh, okay.
So it's 1 per point work. That's insane. Wow. Okay.
He says, "Oh yeah, I meant to write in last week about the YouTube conspiracy theory saying Mary Jane was a self-insert by the lead writer. I don't think a writer has that much pull, but the question was Western media taking out all the fan service, or did we overly correct culture?"
What?
What's he talking about?
The Mary Jane...
So Mary Jane and Spider-Man, because
2.
she looks slightly different, because they're still fiddling with those designs, clearly. But everybody took that as some insult. They're like, oh, I'm not attracted to this fictional character at the end of the day anymore. So it must be that like the lead writer is trying to insert herself into or whatever. I don't know. If I try to stick, dude, it's that nonsense conspiracy without any sort of realistic thinking involved.
I remember the redrawn Aloy picture. Remember that?
Oh,
makeup?
God.
People are just...
Like,
Yeah.
go out, guys, if you think that, go outside and actually meet real women.
Have you
please.
seen the new South Park movie yet?
No, I have
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's so good. Watch it.
It is literally about this stuff, about how Kathleen Kennedy came from an alternate universe and all she wanted to do was put a gay lesbian chick in every movie.
Yep. Yep. Her stuff.
I think the whole thing about Mary Jane was completely and utterly overblown.
Oh, that too.
Like, it's just complete ridiculousness.
I saw the picture. I immediately was like, I know who that's supposed to be. But like, part of me was like, did they change her face again? And that only comes from the fact that they changed Peter's face like fucking twice.
No, it's really just it's her hair that's different.
Oh,
And her
likely.
face is a little bit different, but not much different. Like
who
I don't know,
fucking
man.
cares?
Guess
Right,
what?
but-
Go outside. Okay, go outside, and you will pass. I don't know if you actually, like a lot of people don't do, but if you actually went out into public around other human beings, and you walked down through a mall or something, you would come across 50 people, and none of those 50 people would look the same. They would all look unique in some way, and you might not be attracted to every single one of them. So this notion that every single person that appears in a video game has to be attractive to you specifically is so fucking gross. And I've used this comment a couple times on this podcast. This might be the most serious case of loser behavior I've ever seen.
I'm sorry,
like,
but you shouldn't be attracted to polygons anyway.
If you care this
Right.
much about the
Preach.
attractiveness of a video game character, I automatically assume that you are an absolute loser. Like, that you just, like, that you don't have any interaction with any regular human beings.
Yeah, like there was even talk about that in like the comic books Reddit, which I'm like, it's not the spot for it. But there's a couple people like myself where it was like more weird by the fact that it's like that doesn't look the same. Then like it would be like if Kratos kind of like looked slightly different, and you're like, did they edit that more? Like to me it was the overall like
Yeah,
just
but she
consistency
doesn't
changing.
really. She
No,
doesn't
the
look that
screenshots-
different if you
no,
see
no,
her in
right,
motion. That's
right,
the thing.
but this was before that. I'm just saying, like, to me, like, I understand if that's where you're upset, but like, yeah, the whole people on the same with the Aloy one. The Aloy one is also like just I don't know. Like, you want realistic graphics, but then you want nothing realistic in it. Like, why would Aloy have a face full of makeup?
Right.
What?
That makes no sense for the character. Like, yeah.
Literally, there's fucking robots running around, and she's just trying to not die, and you're like worried about how she looks. I don't care. I thought that character looked great. It's a great design. She stands out immediately, which is not something you see with a lot of characters. How many generic white guys? Like, if you looked at the fucking portrait, or the silhouette, I should say, of Nathan Drake, could you point him out in a crowd full of just generic white protagonists?
I mean,
No.
maybe if the music started playing, I could point him out.
No, he'd already kill everybody else in the room anyways. It's fine. But it's just like, it's weird for me to like, to me, it's like these are characters that you're trying to make clearly obvious who they are right away. I'm not looking for attractiveness in video games. That's weird.
Well, his second tweet kind of pours into this, so I'll go ahead and read it. He says, "I apologize if this isn't the right place to talk about these questions, but I think you guys will give a genuine take on this situation. Personally, I don't care about digital pixels. I have a real life girlfriend, but it is odd seeing the dramatic changes, i.e., MK9 to MK1, some for the better." So, like, that's another big topic of conversation in the MK community is, like, if you remember MK9, some of those lady designs were...
sexual fan service.
Yeah, especially, like, that Melina Pitts costume where it's just bandages wrapped around her body.
Yeah, that was 100% not something that the industry should be marching toward. Like, I mean, especially not in a mainstream game like that. If you're the type of person that wants to have like some game within your niche that has characters dressed like that, whatever, more power to you, I guess. But that's not what the entire industry should be marching towards.
There's been like, I think there's more of an acceptance and change when it comes to fighting games. You know, how like every new iteration, the character looks the same but different. I've always enjoyed seeing how characters evolve over time in fighting games. Not all of them are great, but some of them are quite neat. I've actually really liked the new Mortal Kombat stuff because they've been going more for that gritty, gross out realism and violence. Like, more realistic looking characters has been great. I thought the redesign for Tomb Raider was fantastic. Like, it felt like a real person and not a cartoon character.
What are you talking about? That original Lara Croft model is
That original
super
Lara
realistic.
Croft model is so fucking bad. Oh my god. There was a reboot parody, and the reboot parody had more polygons.
Remember the controversy over Tifa's boob size in Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yep.
I'd forgotten about it until you reminded me. Thanks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like, it's those type of people, though, that end up spending $700 on Tifa and a Jacko pose, right? So it's like, these companies, I would not want to be...
Panderverse.
Okay, you're making references to stuff that I have not watched, and that clearly other people aren't either.
We've over-pandered at this point.
It is,
but is it
yeah.
like I don't know if they pandered to anyone really at this point.
Well, it depends on what you're looking at. There's definitely some pandering going on.
Oh, I mean, yes, there's definitely some games that exist, but for the most in the mainstream, I feel like we have, for the most part, arguably the most free sort of environment to make a game. Like, go back to like if God of War, the new 2-part Norse mythology series had come out like right after God of War 3, I don't think people would have been happy with that story. I feel like art, like games are more art now.
That's just, some of that is just a byproduct of it. So some of the snapback that I think some people are sort of experiencing right now is less. So there is an attitude of sort of the natural progression of society, but we also, from the late 90s through probably 2010, we were really, really, as a society, deciding that we were going to try to be as offensive as we could in a lot of different ways. And I think some of what people are seeing as a counter response to that is really just the world kind of settling back in and being like, yeah, that was kind of gross. Like, our behavior there for a good 20 years was a little bit gross.
Well, let me throw a devil's advocate into this, because this is something I also see.
By the way, don't wear.
So
every time Devil's Advocate's brought up, I just have him screaming in my head.
I just want to play this part and kind of get your opinion on this to kind of wrap up this conversation. Yes, the stuff that you're talking about was extremely gross, and it was like, as a parent, it's even more apparent to me because like I'm watching things and I'm like, this is unnecessary to me. But a lot of those people that fight against this stuff are also the people like, I want to fuck everybody in Baldur's Gate 3. I want to fuck everybody in Mass Effect. Like,
well, there's a
that's
so you're getting into a different conversation though, because there's a different conversation between a game that has a realistic depiction of characters that spend a significant amount of time together and end up in romantic situations, and choose your own adventure sex fantasy. That there's a difference between those things. Just like there's a difference between a rom-com and a porn movie. They both involve people hooking up.
Well, it depends on your imagination.
The circumstances are different. Circumstances are different. So, I think probably in the gaming world, there's probably room for both, in the same way that in the real world there's room for both.
And also in porn, there's sometimes room for both.
But there's a degree of realism to adding romance options to a game that can be achieved, that isn't just, hey, I want to screw everybody.
Baldur's Gate is kind of an exception though, because there's literally like people trying to fuck all the time in that game.
Well, that was a bug, though. I mean, they came out and said that the overly aggressive romance options were a bug, and they've now patched it out.
That may be from the developer side, but from the player side, they were I mean, there's sex speed runs. Come on.
Yeah, but you can't. So again, you're making generalizations about the entire community based on a very small subset.
A very vocal, very, very vocal fucking subset.
But the same thing could probably be said about the skimpy outfits. Like, that's a very vocal subset.
But one of
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think all of it's just trash.
So here's the thing. Like, this is kind of a multi-part argument at this point, but so I can maybe understand how you'd be like, oh, violence is okay in Mortal Kombat, but women can't be scantily clad and big boobed and all that stuff. I get it to some extent. I like understand where you're coming from, because you're seeing that we are okay with, as a society, as Westerners are okay with like hyper violence, but sex is still a no talking, point. Like, oh, no, can't show sex on television. Oh, no, sex can't be in video games. Like, I do get that point. However, you can play Baldur's Gate and not have sex once. That is up to the player. The design of the characters and the writing are things that are, like, especially for games that are not like Baldur's Gate, where you have no choice, those things are things you are going to experience just by playing the game. And so I can understand why, like, the removal of, the forced aspect of it onto the consumer, making people look more normal, not being kind of gross, with the sense of humor and stuff. I can understand why they would remove that, because there's no opt-out option, right? You can opt out of the sex in Baldur's Gate. If you're like, oh, this character wants to have sex with me, you can say no. Right. So, like, I think that is something to keep in mind, that, like, you are bringing up something that is completely optional, and the stuff that we are talking about is not.
No, that's fair. Like I said, I was just playing devil's advocate. I don't need any of it.
I do understand, though, like, at some point, like, this is video games. It's not real, so we can kind of do whatever we want. But, like, at the same time, like, people are complaining about Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 looking like a person, you know? Like, even if you don't think she's hot, she still looks like a person. Like, it is amazing how far we've gone with technology. But it's like, you know, weird that they're talking about technology like this. So it's like, maybe we should, you know, pull back, because obviously people can't understand the difference between this is not a real person. You should not be getting off to this.
Yeah, there's I don't think the annoying thing is that if somebody made a movie and they wanted it to be like a big budget theatrical movie, and half the runtime of the movie was just ludicrous sexual escapades, people wouldn't be surprised if the scope of the people that are interested in that movie would be less than the scope of like a mainstream comedy movie, for example. And it's the same thing with games. Like if you decide that that's a genre you're interested in, then whatever, more power to you. If that's the kind of games you want to make, or those are the kind of games you want to play, go ahead. Whatever. I still think it's loser behavior, but whatever. It's your choice. But
you're just doing you, man.
To complain that they didn't over-sexualize Mary Jane in a Spider-Man game is just ludicrous. It's absurd.
That's, like you said, loser behavior.
Yeah.
Can I say, like, I have somewhat of a level of respect for this person, and I'm not trying to shit on them because I know they've been shit on the internet a lot, but it is weird and creepy and kind of loser behavior. The HD mod for Half-Life 2 is infamous for this. The guy went in and he made Half-Life 2 look brilliant, and then he over-sexualized like every woman, but especially Alex, who accompanies you for most of or a good significant portion of Half-Life, and it is uncomfortable. He's like, you know, I'm not going to say it, but like, you know, there's just certain parts of the body that you shouldn't have to model on something that you're never going to see. It's weird. It's loser behavior. But guess what? There's someone out there that thinks just like you, and they'll make a mod, and you can just play that version.
Apparently,
don't put that on all of us.
Apparently, Itagaki modeled everything in Dead or Alive. People found that out when it went to PC.
Yeah,
weird. That's weird.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird behavior.
It only gets weirder if you've scanned a real person and done it, David Cage. But you know,
Emotion.
Weird all nonetheless. Oh, fucking David Cage. That Star Wars game's gonna suck. Fuck him. I don't care. I hate him so much. Fucking Indigo Prophecy starts off so good and just so bad. Ugh.
All right.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like this, it's just weird stuff. But anyway, we should probably get out of here. This is, it's running deep into...
We've run deep.
Yeah, and we could probably talk about this for like an hour by itself, but Ryan's right. It is weird behavior to worry about this stuff. Like, just enjoy your games.
And I'm not saying, I don't think any of us are saying, because just want to be clear, because just in case the wrong person hears this, I don't think any of us are saying you can't have an opinion on, you know, changes to games that you like. No one's upset about that. It's just, it's like, don't make it this like weird sticking point with you. Be upset. It's fine. Just don't be like, I can't believe that they've attacked us like this. They're not attacking you. That's where it gets weird. Start being on the defensive.
Yeah, people are weird. Video games make them weird. Movies make them weird. Everything makes them weird. I don't get it. But anyway, that's it for this week. If you want to tweet at us, it's still there. It's at ZTGD Podcast, but emails are better. Podcast at ZTGD.com if you want to fire up that old AOL account of yours. You can email us there. I don't know what Drew's doing next for Phoenix Down. I don't think he said.
I do. We are going to do, because I am joining him, so that's right. You can just skip these ones. We are doing that horror game I liked. It's got the Phobia.
Oh, the hotel one.
Hotel,
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to do that because I really liked Phobia. It was the Dinfna Hotel. I'm like, it's got that weird letter sequence in its name, but yeah, that's right. That's the subtitle. It's a really good game. If you like horror, and you like Resident Evil, but, want to sort of have the mansion from the first game, but played in first person, it's a pretty good one of those. Like, for an indie game, it's really impressive. And I think I've seen it on sale for like under $10 now digitally.
Right on.
I would recommend at least listening to like an episode to see if it's something that you're interested in. If you've played it or playing along, cool. I hope you enjoy it because I'm the one that recommended it to everybody and usually does so poorly.
Another fucking game that sits on my backlog that I played like 2 hours of. I swear to God, lots of those.
You know what? So Phobia, but so the problem is there's a puzzle game called Phobia. So this is Phobia Saint Dinfna Hotel. It is a first-person horror game, and it is fantastic. Let me just see. It's 30. This is Canadian. I'm sorry, everybody, but it's $33.99 on Steam. So it's even a discount price. They weren't charging fucking that awful firefighter game money for a game that's way, way fucking better.
Man, I swear we wouldn't still be talking about this game if they didn't talk shit on Twitter. Sorry.
Exactly.
No,
I
you know what?
maintain that if they just came in here humble, like their first game. Did y'all see that? Like, I didn't even know they had a first game. Like, I posted that in our chat. Nobody heard about that. Just release your game, but y'all came in talking all kind of shit.
Here's the thing, like, I think they'd probably get credit if like they had just released their game and it was $30. And they weren't out here talking shit all the time. I don't think anyone would be rooting for their downfall, but here we are.
Nope. But yep.
Cool. Well, that's it for
also,
this week.
I want to just say, when you type in Phobia, which is Phobia, into Google, it shows you the description of the other Phobia game, but then on the right part of Google, it says Phobia St. Dinfna Hotel. Steam 9 out of 10, ZTGD 8.5 out of 10. That's
look at that.
Second one that comes up.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here unless anybody has anything else. We're gone. Peace. Bitches leave.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.